It's clobbering time! It's clobbering time! Clobberanimo!
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to Clobbering Times. Clobby's Clubhouse number 85 on Clobber Times issue number 589. 1,002. That's just on YouTube. 1,289 overall. Blah, blah, blah. It is, of course, time to say Clobberanimo! Yes, indeed. Here we are for another Thursday night edition of Clobby's Clubhouse. What other night will we do it, right?
It's almost like you guys practiced that before the stream, but you actually didn't. I can testify to that. But that was great timing. Hi to everyone.
Thanks for helping me lose my place. Appreciate it. You guys, anything else?
That's my job. Just change things and screw things up. It's in my contract.
And they probably redesigned the whole sick bay, too. I know engineers, they love to change things.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
We're already having fun.
As I was saying,
awesome.
Thank you. No, again, thank you so much for being here. My wonderful first officer, the greatest chief engineer in the fleet as well. Appreciate you both being here and appreciate you all being here in the chat. We're going to have a lot of fun here tonight on Thursday night's Clobby's Clubhouse. I almost said Saturday night Star Trek. Well, we'll have some Star Trek for you too, though, just on a Thursday night. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Let's get started with number one, our first officer, Commander Arne Briggs. Any opening words?
Well, thank you for giving me the floor, boss. Yeah, I have a few words. I just want to spread some love by saying hail to the chat. Hail to the chat. And thank you to my Patreon subs, Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric Kane Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, damn it, Mark, Jill, Maximum Redstone, JJ Cook, Dabman and the Dabman Clan, and Lord and Lady Thoth. I also want to say thank you to the Wrenches. Thank you so much for coming tonight to help us run the show. I want to wave hello to Mark. He is the best engineer in Starfleet. He's our Scotty. We love him. He's the best. And I also have to salute my captain. My captain, I love you. I'm so stoked for tonight. We have a special surprise, some new material for everyone, and I'm very, very excited about it.
Me too. Chief Engineer, thanks for being here, bud, as always. Any opening words?
Oh, just great to be here. It's not Thursday night if we're not hanging out the clubhouse, and we got a great. I'm predicting. I think I have a psychic feeling about the UFO episode tonight. I think it might be good, but I might be able to guess your word.
Damn it, Mark!
Bad. That was just so bad. But anyway, yeah, good UFO episode. Some surprises, surprise, and. Yeah, and a good and maybe some good. I hope Captain Infinity shows up for the Tales of Tomorrow episode, because there might be a certain his favorite thing occurs in that episode tonight. So yeah, some good stuff coming. And hi,
Agonizer, please.
Everything that guy just says bullshit. Thank you.
Oops.
I'm awfully glad I clipped that.
Why would you give me such a weapon?
Yeah, I gave you
a
big weapon here, but I can just respond with this.
I'm sorry, Captain, but I'm an engineer, not a magician.
Well, two can play at that game.
So funny.
I have had enough of you!
Oh, poor Wesley.
Bite your tongue. All right, everybody. Well, I'm so happy to see you all here tonight. Why don't we we're not really a get down to business kind of gang. Let's just face it. We're just lounging around at the clubhouse. But we will get down to beeswax anyway after we leisurely do some show notes and shout outs. How about that?
Shout outs.
Yeah.
Sure.
Show notes and shout outs and shout outs and shout outs. Show notes, of course. What is it? Thursday night. I don't think there will be a Nick Weiser's Friday Night Comic Shop tomorrow night. If there is, if so, it'll be an abbreviated one. He is hanging with all the cool kids in Dallas, and we're happy.
There's a meetup.
If he is a big meetup with Gary and the gang in Dallas at a con there, and I hope Nick was able to make it. So, yeah, that's probably the way that's going to go, which is great. We hope Nick has a wonderful time. Our good buddy Nick Weiser. Where at? But there will be Saturday Night Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same Trek time, same clubby channel. Cannot wait. 4 more episodes of Deep Space Nine. And then Sunday night at the Geekery, the great Chief Engineer's channel, Mark D with the C. He will, of course, have his links in the chat. I'm sure that you can please, if you've not already.
Poster.
Yep, I'll throw them in. Yep.
You. That's a nice poster. I love that poster.
Thank you.
One of your best.
It's nothing.
That's a
but
gooder.
thank you. Well, I appreciate that. As you can see, he is a big fellow in the middle of all that geekness there. The great Monica D with the C and his great channel. Please subscribe. But we have a lot of fun on Sunday nights. Even that's me hanging there for some reason. It's probably just too nice to get rid of me. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Monday, it is a Clobby Comics extravaganza. First up, as every B Monday is, the second Monday of every month, it's Bob Haney time. It's Bob Haney time. It's Bob Haney time. The wacky world of Bob Haney presentation. Clobby's Classic Comics Review, the great J-Man, joins me to take a trip to Earth, be the wackiest writer who ever lived and ever wrote a funny book. It's truly some crazy stuff.
Is that a cartoon image of
That's
Jay?
J-Man, yeah, of course.
That's
Who else would it
excellent.
be? It's right next to his name. What was your first clue? Of course.
No,
Don't
it's
ask
just
silly questions.
that's funny and it's cute.
You're funny and cute, J-Man. I'm funny. No, like, how do I amuse you? You think I'm like a clown or something? Yeah. What do you mean funny? Well, you know the joke. Anyway, so yes, we have a Batman. Another Brave and the Bold, 125 from 1976. More bonkers comics, the craziest comics ever written by the craziest writer who ever lived, the great Bob Haney. And then after that at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. I don't know exactly what I'll be talking about, but you can bet comics will be the center of conversation because that's how we roll up in you. And then
Cajun Man.
I don't know any Cajun people. And then I'm proud to announce Wednesday night, the great Michael French of Retro Blasting will join me to hang out, to talk some whatever's going on, and I don't know, current events and just things he's doing on his videos and just hang out because I just miss hanging with my good buddy Michael. It's always a lot of fun. So that will be, of course, Wild Card Wednesday night next week. And that should take care of these show notes. Oh, well, of course, and then the next Monday back at J-Man's channel for some Legion reviews.
Nice.
So we're reviewing all of Legion's appearances chronologically in order 1958 to 1989, silver through bronze. Now, some shout-outs because we love you guys. We love you for hanging out with us. And we shout out our wrenches first, and then we'll shout out everybody in the chats. Big hello to the great Eric K, who has been popping up, and it's just so great to see him again. We love Eric K. Do we not, the Bronze Wrencher?
Love you, honey.
Yeah, buddy. I hope you're feeling better, man. And there is, of course, the Vindicated Wrench of the North, the great Chris Persia.
Thank you for the show poster today.
Thank you for all you do, buddy. We appreciate you. The great Wrench of I&D, Bud Martin.
Resident mathematician.
Indeed, that adds up. The god of the... Sorry.
Shin kicks!
I don't know what you mean. The great god of wrenching and Lord of Thoth, and of course his wonderful goddess, better half, Lady Thoth. Avon lives and long live the Legion. My partner in crime on Earth, B, Legion reviewer extraordinaire and wrench without fear, the aforementioned great J-Man, master of the Claboni, artist supreme, hungry boy, super HB, super wrench extraordinaire, Kal-El. Hey, buddy.
Real soup.
It's real soup. Maddie's daddy, the Thor from Vegas, Wieler of Wrench Mjolnir, and of course that old rascal Fanty outside E.
Fanty!
Our own music meister, the great Maximum Redstone. And I haven't seen him in a while. I hope he's doing okay. And for those who don't know, or if anyone knows, please shout out to the great Max Redstone. Hope he's feeling well, doing well.
Yeah,
we missed him. Oh, buddy. Okay, now to shout you all out who are with us in the chat because you're important to us. We shout you all out because it's just great to have you. It's the clubhouse. It's what we do. We welcome everybody who walks through the door, right? First up, Fiona M. Hello, Princess Fiona.
Curtsy.
Always love to see the ladies pop in here. You know, it's kind of guys how we roll up in you. Wagner. Oh, we were looking at some cool stuff like last week or something like that. Wagner and I were looking at some pictures of the creature. And we both of us said, "Oh, Raquel would love to see these." You would have loved what we were looking at. Joseph Dredd, here comes the judge. All right.
Evening, Dredd.
Simply Steve 68. He's simple, not. He's he's complex, Steve, folks. Just don't let him fool you.
That's right. That's right. Good evening, Steve. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
Lemon pie.
Lemon pie.
I need me some lemon pies. Little Scotty, hello there.
Evening, little Scotty.
Brian Hepburn, what is up, my friend?
Evening, Brian.
Mighty Morphin Donnie Pearson.
Hey.
Hey. Now I have to vap some more until we get to the next. Hey. Michael Beacom, and thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He says, when they say get a life, they never mention how much having a life cuts into the important things like reading movies and YouTubers. Yeah, you know, that's exactly right. I've never had one that doesn't affect me. Okay, well, I'm a bad example, but there are plenty of people who don't have lives that are fine. Maybe not me, but plenty of them. I know. Maybe.
I think also your priorities shift as you get older. And I think some odd things have gone on with the internet, especially with the vid. I think a lot of people, made a lot of friendships. And so they spend a lot more time online than they would normally. And there's no shame in that. We love Michael and Cassandra Beacom. And this space wouldn't be the same without them.
Shooter's here.
Pew, 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 pew.
You can shoot him a couple more times if you want to.
Don't shoot my Patreon.
The doggies don't like that. The doggies are like, "Will you shut up?"
That's my neighbor's dog. Sorry, if
they don't like it.
Open. It's hot.
That's cool. No problemo. Dave C. Hey.
Dave.
Let's see. Hang on, everyone. I'm trying to get to more of them. Vamping noise.
Do, 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 boo, boo, doo, boo, da, na, 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 na,
I got
na,
one.
na,
I'm ready when you are.
na, 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 na.
And they call him Scuba Pete. He's the king of the Samba Beat. He plays the malacas. He goes chick, chicky, boom, chick, chicky, boom, bop, bop, bop. Mighty Orbots.
Scuba Pete!
What
Leslie
say
Pete!
ye? Yes, Scuba and Leslie. Good to see you, my friend. Alaric Harrelson.
Alaric, nice to see you.
Hey, all right. Good to see you, sir. Matt G's here.
Matt G.
What about it, Matt G? Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend.
Shalom, my friend.
Herc 132.
Hooby dooby, pass the tequila.
Ooba dooba dooba dooba. And that's for the moment anyway. I do believe that is it. Of course, we will call out anyone accordingly as they drop in, because it's just how we roll. I want to thank anyone who is lurking in lurk mode. We like that too. Love the lurkers, and anyone who happens to be watching on a download or a rewatch or a replay or whatever you want to recall it. We thank you, We thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you. But we don't Williams, thank you. Celebrating 29 years of marriage this Saturday.
No way.
No, you were celebrating 28 years of Leslie putting up with you. Let's face it.
Yeah, that's a better way to word it. Yeah, congratulations.
Oh, that's so cute.
We love you, brother.
I couldn't think of a nicer couple. I'm not surprised you two have been married for 3 decades. I love you both so much. You guys are so kind and such wonderful friends to one and all. Congratulations. And I promise to do the Flintstone song on Saturday.
Coolness.
Wow.
That's right. Let's see. Absolutely. It's just, he admits it. Michael Beacom says, every night I walk my dog Shelby, the neighbors out on their decks with beagles always apologize for barking. I tell them, check a dog's job description. That's true. Most dogs are, that's kind of what they do.
Yeah,
all
this
right.
one's a big one too. The one that's across the street. I don't even know its name, but it's a Presa Canario. So it's a monster dog. And it never barks at me. It never barks at Paco and Lola. It never barks at anyone in the neighborhood. But if somebody is walking their dog here and they don't belong in this neighborhood, boy, that big fella lets us know. So he's quite scary, but he's also very tame and kind to all of us. So it's a weird situation, but when he barks, you listen.
Yeah, weird. He's a what now?
A Presa Canario.
Hey, Matt Pott, what's up, sir? Good to see you, man. Always great to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. So let's see here. Now that we've got all that out of the way, although we enjoy doing it, so it's not really not a chore. We if those who are new to the clubhouse, here was number 85. So, but we've been doing this for a while. We always just kind of hang out, chill a little bit. Lately, we have been reviewing a few things and talking about a few things. Number one, of course, we'll start out with a review of her latest Tales of Tomorrow episode, and after that, we'll have an episode do our weekly Jerry Anderson's UFO episode review, and then we'll have a special treat for you. We're starting our Star Trek comics segment tonight, so. And
it's going to be so fun.
Tonight is the debut of that. So now
debut?
Yes, debut.
That's a French?
It's a shin kick if I had one.
Your agonizer, please.
Yeah. It's I couldn't decide what to use on you. So let's do this one.
Your agonizer, please.
No, Mr. Spock!
Ouch.
Ouchie. All right, so number one, you have an episode of Tales of Tomorrow for us.
Yeah,
proceed.
And I only have one episode this evening, and that's
Okay.
because we've added the Star Trek segment, and so I thought I would cut it back,
That's cool.
so that we have enough time to get to everything. So
I didn't mean
Pardon
for you
me?
to have to cut into a segment you like to do. You didn't have
Oh
to do
goodness,
that.
no, boss. I want to make time to do these
Oh,
Star Trek comics. I've
we
never
have
read a
time.
comic before. You know that I'm very
Okay.
excited about this.
Okay.
I'm learning from you and Mark about my comic book collection, and I wouldn't be interested in comic books otherwise. But because it's Star Trek and because you two are actually like pretty nerdy about it, I'm very interested. Like if it was just a bunch of guys sitting around talking about comics, I would not be interested in it. I'm not going to lie. But the fact that that I can ask you questions about publishing, I can ask you questions about art, I can ask you questions about, you know, who wrote it and you know the techniques that were used, and you know, like I found out Gold Key Comics are many of the covers, or I think all of the covers, I don't
Not
remember,
all, but many.
are oil paintings. I mean, hanging out with you and Mark and talking about Star Trek comics is way different than just hanging out talking about comics. So I'm super stoked. Lisa, hello,
Lisa.
beautiful.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa, lovely. Good to see
Yeah,
you.
Shooter, I'm sorry, honey. Shooter says
Rita.
Raquel has not read a comic before. Oh,
Should
no.
we shoot her? Should we shoot her? Shoot her?
You can shoot me.
Okay, she
Just
deserves
don't
it.
rover me.
Agonize her, please.
No, Mr. Spock.
Well, if you really want to be rude to her, I guess you could.
That's a stupid question.
Oh, Lordy. You still there, number one?
So everyone, the boss just gave me the long agonizer. He gave Mark
did I
the
do?
short agonizer. Gave me
Yeah.
the long agonizer.
I think
What do
they're
you
the
think of
same.
that?
They're the same. No, they're the same running time. I just looked at them, man. They're both. No, you got the same. No, I'm an equal opportunity tyrant on my ship, and it's you both got the same agonizer. Thank you very much.
Lisa
Oh,
says that I sound tired. You are correct.
Are
We are
you?
building a deck, and I've been burning the candle at both ends, but I just finished my 4th story and put it up on Patreon. So you're very perceptive, and you're also a very good friend. So thank you, Lisa. But I'm not too tired to be here, and I'm very excited
Hey,
about it. Let's
and if
get to
you
the
are-
segment. So, if you're new around here, we are covering a television show that I believe started off as serials that you would watch in the theater called Tales of Tomorrow. And it is where some of the world's greatest modern science fiction authors got their start. It's now in the public domain. It was all broadcast in the 1950s, mostly I think in 1951 and 1952. And I love this stuff because what it is it's very restorative. So modern television, modern entertainment is really corporate now. It's corporate authors. There aren't really like storytellers around. It's script writing people, and it's teams of these people. And so it's not very satisfying, and people don't like it. Tales of Tomorrow has people like Arthur C. Clarke writing for them, and then they have a teleplay person adapt it for them. And so that's the running story here, and I like promoting it because it's very restorative. People deserve to have that author and reader relationship, and they deserve to have the corporations put in their place, which is hawking their wares while supporting actual art, real art. And right now, corporations completely control art and make art, if you want to call it that. So that's the rationale. Tonight's episode of Tales of Tomorrow is Ahead of His Time. This is season 1, episode 41, as per the IMDb in the USA. That might not line up for you. This is an international show, so I'll just say the name of the episode again. It's Ahead of His Time. This was first broadcast or put in the theaters on July 18th, 1952. It was written by the actor, the primary actor here. His name is Paul Tripp. And because IMDb is a cesspool of lies, half-truths, rumors, and BS, I do my own summary. So here it is. A time machine inventor breaks the fourth wall and if you're unfamiliar with that term, it means that he addresses the audience directly, to take us to June 30th, 2052. He then narrates the tale of a scientist, a curiously named Dr. Jarvis, which I think might be seminal. This series was very inspirational to the next generation of sci-fi authors coming up. So I thought you should all know that the scientist's name is Dr. Jarvis, right? Yeah. Anyway, Iron Man. Coping
And
with
Heart
the
Doctor.
Pardon?
Oh, and the inventor of the artificial heart too.
Was that Jarvik?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
was that Jarvik or Jarvis?
I don't
Sorry.
remember. I
Yeah,
actually don't remember. Okay, coping with the inevitable total destruction of the world due to an atomic experiment 100 years earlier. So there is much to lose, as the world is now scientifically advanced and a worldwide utopia has been achieved. There is no disease, there is no war, there is no famine. They contemplate changing the past because they have a time machine in this 2052 via the narrator and the time machine inventor. So there's like a television between the two of them. I know this sounds confusing, and it's because it's complete. We go back to the original narrator who breaks the fourth wall, but now before he made the time machine. So we even go back even further, right? And then he jumps to 2052 when there's only 2 hours left for all of mankind. Okay, so they send him back to stop the experiment. He burns the work of Dr. Jarvis, and then his sister winds up destroying his time machine so that he can't go back to 2052. Does all of this sound convoluted? It is.
I think it sounds
it's because there's a creepy twist at the end. There is a copious amount of bad acting, a horrible script written by an actor who thinks he can not only act but also star in this complete and utter shite. And the actors, and I put in my notes: actors act, writers write. And then I gave it a 2 out of 10.
Wow.
So this one sucks. This guy, Paul Tripp, definitely shouldn't quit his day job. The story is weird and convoluted. So it sounds exactly as dumb as I explained. We start off with that fourth wall in 1952. We go up to 2052. Then we
Right.
go back to 1952. Then we go back to 2052. Then we go back to 1952. And there's a twist about 2052 in 1952. And we have an actor who breaks the fourth wall, I think 3 times during this whole thing. And it's just complete and utter poop.
You don't like his time life preserver?
No.
Boy,
it's bad.
Well, that
It
kind of
is.
foreshadows Back to the Future when he goes into the diner. Says, "Why are you wearing a life preserver?" And he's wearing the vest. Remember that classic line?
Oh
It was
boy,
bad
that's
acting.
true, Mark.
Yeah, maybe saw it. Yeah, it's really not a good one here. This one, it's terrible acting, as you said. I'm probably 2 out of 10. Also, it's just leave the science fiction to the science fiction writers. This is bad science fantasy. It doesn't even make sense for a time travel story. It was even for 1952. You wouldn't expect something. It was a little preachy. But it was just campy. And it was terrible acting. Not a very ill-conceived story. Did not make a whole lot of sense in any way. It's just I can't. They could do better. Rod Serling would never have allowed this.
No, he
Nor
wouldn't
Leslie
have.
Stevens.
It's not good, and somebody has indulged the actor here. This is like
Right.
poopy stew, and the result is poo. Just
Really
leave
bad.
actors act; they don't write, and especially on Tales of Tomorrow, where we have some of our finest science fiction authors on display, having their work adapted by some incredibly talented teleplay people, and so it's a match made in heaven. And here we have a nincompoop messing it all up. It's like he walked into the room, he pooped, and then he left.
It's not a wonder that there's not one actor in this one that we recognize, because a lot of these episodes, they're actors that you go, "Oh, I've seen him." So that was somebody who turned out to be big later, or at least you've seen him in some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But wow,
Yeah.
Captain Kennedy would not like this one.
Yeah, and what I like, even from the beginning, you're kind of cheesed off because he makes it very clear that his time machine is completely successful, to minutia. Like he can dial in a day that he can go to, and obviously he's a little off, we discover, because he bets 1,000 or he dials in 1,000 and he only gets 100. But you don't buy that he would be a lab assistant. And the breaching of the fourth wall makes no sense, and also the twist at the end. Lasai.
Well, the one thing that I did like about it that was kind of Gene Roddenberry was in terms of the future. They said there was no hunger, war. You know, it's an
and they said the government will pay for everything.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. Well, they threw that in, but you know, the idea of having a future where humanity's at peace and there's time for all your pursuits. So this scientist, we would spoil more of it, I guess, because it's
Well,
so
why
bad.
was he but why get so preachy about the atomic energy and atomic
Well, I think-
experiments? Like,
well, 'cause
what's with that? That's not very
that's a
sciencey.
part of the. Well, that's part of the culture back then in terms of the start of the Cold War. He mentions one of the lines. He said, "What you mean? There's
Cold
no
War,
Cold
yeah.
War anymore?"
Yes,
So, and
I
then you had
know,
a
but Paul
huge
Tripp
and
sucks.
and we don't want to get into obviously get into politics, but back in that time, you had a huge faction that was very much against military spending, and then there's a faction pro. We're not going to get into that, but there's all kinds of. The Cold War is just getting started here, so a lot of people thought that the world was going to get blown up. So that's a reflection of
Yeah,
that.
a
I
lot
think
of
from the
people feared
zeitgeist.
atomic energy like they feared the Hadrian
Yeah.
Collider, right? Like they thought that it could do things that we wouldn't understand. So I think it's maybe less about war and more about don't do those experiments, which is why I kind of how wishy-washy can you get? I'm quite certain that this Paul Tripp fellow was being very preachy about that because it's obvious that he wasn't scientific. He didn't realize that maybe he should have consulted some scientists before sort of making it seem as though atomic experimentation would end the world. The Hadrian Collider didn't end the world either.
Well, of course,
Right.
the Oppenheimer movie is coming. Another movie on Oppenheimer. It's going to be
Oh.
interesting, but that's part of the.
Cillian Murphy's in that.
Yeah, and
I
you like him?
Cillian Murphy.
Oh, you like him? Okay, yeah, yeah. He's an excellent actor. He was great as Scarecrow.
Isn't he?
Yeah. So, but what's one of the questions they ask you? You sure that this is not going to end the universe or the world? He's like, well, we don't know. I mean, as much as you can science the crap out of things sometimes.
So we'll have to get back to you.
You have to get back to you. Yeah, we'll be ready on Tuesday. But I did like that aspect of kind of an altruistic future. Of course, it was a little preachy. But then the crazy thing is goes in the future and he kind of bonds with this person in the future, and he's got to go back in time to stop the chain reaction that's going to destroy the Earth. That's coincidentally. He's a lab assistant for the doctor that's going to do this, or scientist is going to do this experiment that's going to destroy the Earth in 100 years. So that was a little bit too nice and neat. And then, of course, his sister destroys his time machine, and he's not smart enough to rebuild it. Like if you created something and built
Why can't you
something
rebuild
from,
it? But,
from
Yeah,
scratch.
right.
It's not calling it a
This is
time
more-
machine. It's a time potty.
Yeah,
Time
vest.
mode.
yeah, and Dave likes that I use the word nincompoop, but it's the perfect word here because it's just there's so much nincompoopery. If two people were working on an atomic experiment, they would have their proof, but they would have the gist of what they were doing. Just like he could rebuild his time machine. And once again, here you have one of these actors, and people don't realize it, but they really need to look this up and investigate it. A lot of these actors, many, if not most, quit school in middle school And so here you see him trying to rise to the occasion of Arthur C. Clarke. You see him trying to rise to the occasion to great scientific authors who participate in this show, and he just completely poops the bed. He just
it's horrible. Yeah, I mean, you can write the story, but then to try to act in it, I mean, there are a few actors, I'm sure, but it's few and far between that can also, write and act in the story. So so here's a
we
script
got
by Paul
O'Brien
Tripp.
here, we got
Paul
H.G.
Tripp.
Wells here, we got all these rock stars, and then he comes along and he's like, I would build a time machine, but then I wouldn't know how to rebuild it. And then the atomic scientists would figure out an atomic experiment and they would work on it for probably 10 or 15 years, but then completely forget about it after they wrote it in crayon on one piece of paper that I will burn. What?
H.G. Wells gives us this fabulous, extraordinary, cool-looking chair, and this guy gives a toilet seat on his around his neck.
Yes, it's true. It's true, Clubby. True.
And he basically
Clubby.
admits he's an idiot in the beginning of the episode too. He says what a failure he is and how things aren't going right, and he's begging to stay in the future. It's like, I mean, you just got here. How are they going to send you back? It's and then no consequences for time travel either, which would drive Captain Infinity crazy in terms of what if he stays in the future. And I'm just going to spoil it because who cares? It's a stinky Rooney. So he meets that girl in the future who's pretty cute, and of course at the end she travels back in time to be with this loser in the past. So yeah.
Oh, so you
I don't
spoiled
think
it.
so.
I'm spoiling it. Wasn't that her?
I
Yeah,
thought
that
it
was her.
I thought it was
her.
one of her ancestors, and he became her great grandmother or something.
No, I thought it was her that traveled.
No,
she traveled back in time.
How'd she do that?
Yeah,
Because they had a time trap. Because they had a time travel machine.
What am I saying?
too.
If this dope can make a time life preserver, anyone can.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but his time machine wouldn't exist in the future if
No.
his sister destroyed his time machine in the past.
It's a different time machine. Well, because the scientists in the future said they had a time machine, but only someone from that time period could change the past. I don't know.
See
It's
what
just
I'm
such
talking
a
about,
a
folks?
mess. Yeah, it's just a mess. So
It was just
so they
bad.
had to. So they were scanning to like, oh, we know this guy was working on a time machine, and somehow they talked to him, and I don't know, they got him to do the right wires the right way. But I thought that was
They
the same.
talked to him
the same
through the
girl.
TV.
Through the
They're
TV.
talking
Yeah,
to the like the Legion used
Yeah.
to have this machine that they watch the past on. That's what it
Yeah, here it
reminded me
is.
of.
Yeah, like they're watching him in the past, I guess, and getting him to make sure that the toilet / life preserver time machine works. Yeah,
Ridiculous.
It was.
Poor Simply
It was
Steve.
silliness.
I can imagine him head desking right now. He is 100% banging his head against the desk. He has no idea what the hell we're talking about. This episode sucks so bad. Can we just rover Paul Tripp? I mean, he doesn't even deserve to be. We could put him through the Klingon Rite of Ascension. We could put him in the agony booth. But I think what's better is just get it over with and rover him.
He's a
How about the
crappy actor.
Claboni? How about the Claboni? I think
All right.
that would be.
Yes. Chris is here.
Hey, Chris.
Of course,
Chris
yeah,
Bridger.
Oh, has he been here the
I think
whole
he's
time?
been here. Yeah,
What about JJ Kirk?
JJ Kirk, what's up, buddy?
Right,
Crap,
Dave?
crap,
Major
crap,
suck it.
crap, 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 crap.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's I don't care how bad your budget is. You can't go to any more effort than that. That's supposed to represent a time machine. I mean, find an old refrigerator and mock it up or do something. Make it look like it's a machine of some kind. I mean, I don't care. Find something. Find an old any kind of structure or something that looks like that you walk into.
Stand on some brake pads.
Anything, man. That is just
Anything.
the worst. The only time something small works is like the time bracelets that the time agents have from the far future and from Doctor Who are pretty cool. Those are stuff. But for the most part,
Yeah.
that's just garbaggio right there.
At least
so
you could have
bad.
put a calendar on his head with wires.
Yeah, he should have at least done that.
Yes, Dave. Dave.
It's like if he only says, yeah, the Simpsons have better time machines.
Right?
Travel mechanics.
Like
Yeah,
at
it's
least
so
make
bad.
it like a potion or something. Make it something you drink. Stand on
Yeah,
a brake pad. Hold a
something.
beach ball. Do something.
Make
You know,
a
Cover
fissure
a
in
beach
time.
ball in tinfoil and just say, grab
Right.
onto the ball.
Yeah, it's just this is terrible. Yeah, you know, at that time, by the way, when this was written, there hadn't been like 1 million people writing time travel stories either. There was H.G. Wells, who was, primary, and I don't know how many other time travel stories that have been around. Maybe there have been. I'm sure there were others, but that time, it's not like now, like there are 10 bazillion time travel stories.
I know.
So, I guess this guy looked at the time machine, or imagined what H.G. Wells had written, what the time machine would look like. I'm sure there were illustrations. This was before the first George Powell movie, of course. I don't know, but he thought, "Hey, look at this! Look, I was out on the boat the other day. And I was, wearing my my life preserver. This looks just like a time machine would look. H.G. Wells, eat your heart out.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, the show's got no money, but I mean that just
Yeah, but you can
is
do
just
something.
really, really bad.
Awful.
So a lot of times, and a good story would kind of make you overlook some of the sillier
Eric's
elements
Right,
here.
and
that's
devices. But yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. Eric's here.
Eric, what's up, buddy?
Hi, sweetheart. We love
Ron's
you. We
right
were
here.
talking about you. Were your ears burning? How's Kirby? We adore you. I hope you had a nice dinner, and I hope you're feeling a tiny, tiny bit better.
It's time travel stories. And 9 zillion, 9 bagillion, 99 of them are all in Star Trek series by Ira Bear. Yes.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Oh my goodness.
Toilet
Well,
lid time traveler.
toilet lid indeed. A potty. He's traveling with a potty, as Blackadder would say.
It's his potty, and he'll cry if he wants
Oh
to.
my god. Oh, good. Nice. We'll allow it. This guy's a sucky ass actor too. He's really should not only not be allowed to write anything. Poor rest his soul. I'm sure he's no longer with us. I'm not gonna say I hope that. I hope he's alive and well at 150 or whatever he would be. But he should never have been allowed to write anything or act or attempt to act.
Paul Tripp, you are poopy.
No offense. Well, I gotta be alive with it. But yeah, look, here we are, like almost like 80 years later or 70 years later or whatever, beating up on the guy. But
Who
he earned it.
Who goes on a show with O'Brien, H.G. Wells, Arthur C. Clarke, all of these huge names that I can't even think of right now because I have stream brain. But who goes on one of those shows and they're like, well, I was in some local theater productions. I think I can write some science fiction too. What? What?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll go
That's
with
a no.
I think I'm gonna give it a 0.
Okay, I give it a 2 out of 10. Mark, what you call, bud?
I'll give it a 3 for the hopeful future. That's about it. And the girl's not bad looking either.
Okay, I'll give it 1 for the girl. The whole future's dumb because it was commie. So,
It was weird.
also, he just came up with this idea that radio. They didn't really. I guess they didn't really. You all are the scientists around here up in our chat, not me. Apparently, I don't know what they knew or didn't know about radiation, but I love the fact how this is 100 years precisely after this doctor.
Yeah.
He what did he do again exactly? He put something out.
He bombarded radiation on one of
Right, he bombarded something with radiation. Yes,
He did.
and they somehow knew. This doctor in the future knew that in about 3 hours, after 100 years exactly to the day or whatever it is, that radiation is going to all of a sudden wipe out the whole world.
It's true. And it happened right before Crumpets. They even knew what type of jam.
They knew what time it was going to happen. This is 100 years. They haven't learned how to neutralize the radiation or anything like that, which I guess is plausible. But what's not plausible is how they knew exactly to the second that it was going to freaking happen.
Yeah, they were searching and searching with their time machine. Imagine how over 100 years, how long you'd have to search to find the right moment and the right science.
Yes, exactly. Steve's giving it a -2, guys.
Well, well done, Steve.
Do we have any other ratings?
Any ratings?
Her Royal Highness, did you watch this episode? Did you have a chance to watch this episode?
Anybody else watch this one?
And if you did, I'm sorry about that.
Well, they did create a lot of incredible Hulks
today. Basically, science magic.
Yeah.
Well, they did create a lot of incredible Hulks across the planet too, but they didn't show that in the episode. Yeah,
true. Let's see. Give it a Vanguard 1, just lifting off, then boom, burning debris. Whack it. First person gave it a 3 out of 20.
Oh no!
Wow.
Fiona said that she'd like to rate it, but that she couldn't finish it.
You notice how they couldn't pan and scan it for TV either?
Well, I don't know what the I found a better
screen.
I found a better quality version on YouTube, but it doesn't matter that I posted in the link. But
yeah, okay.
Seriously,
this version was pretty blurry. But
she quit it, and it's only 22 minutes long. You know something really is bad if somebody quits it when it's only 22 minutes long.
Rod Serling would fire that guy. He wouldn't have never hire him in the first place.
Story made no sense of a story. No good consequences. Yeah.
Dave is giving it a 1.
Gotcha. Oh well, no point in messing around with this anymore, huh?
Dave says 1 just because you laugh at how bad it is, but it's still better than the claw.
Well, it is the loneliest
do you remember
number.
When I did the claw?
What? It's the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
Oh my gosh. The claw. It was so Dave. The claw was so bad, remember?
What was the claw about? Which one was that? That was
the funny looking bird do you remember it
the movie? Yeah. That's
claw. In the 70s.
Oh yeah. Oh, the claw. Yeah. Oh yeah.
We had those little birds on
that was
strings
hysterical.
or whatever.
Yeah, that was HB's fault, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, you found your own.
Oh no, that one I found all on my own. I believe anyway. I'm not sure. Remember, I was chasing the algorithm for scientific reasons.
Give me the claw, he said. So maybe it was his fault. The giant claw, that's right. That's what it is.
Yeah, there's the experiment gone wrong, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve says, "Can we get out of here on UFO, please?"
Oh man, Calculon. Who is Calculon? All right. Well,
I do not know.
Enough of that nonsense.
Enough of that nonsense. Yeah. Well, it was fun though. That was a lot of fun.
It was fun, but it also sucked. It sucked hardcore. It really, really bad. The suckage was epic. Let's move on to UFO.
It can all be world beaters, I suppose.
Yeah, but this should be a lesson. Like Poopy Stew should have learned from this. Actors don't get to write and direct and
they never learn that.
No. Hey,
they
Bruce
never
is
learn
here.
that. Bruce, what's up, dude? Good to see you, buddy. So, are we ready for some UFO?
Yeah, I got some UFO. I got my slide, my old TV screen ready to go.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay, well, let me introduce it then. This week in UFO, we are doing ESP, which is season 1, episode 6 in the USA. It's now pay attention here, folks. It's episode 25, ITV, and prod code 15. And this makes a marked difference in how you imbibe the entire series. One of the reasons being, of course, the presence of Mark Bradley and Gay. So anyhow, I'm digressing. We all this was first broadcast on September 14th, 1970. And now I'm going to throw it over to Mark, who has a very sexy book with a summary of the episode.
Let me get one. I'll just read. I don't need to show it, I guess. Right? I'll just read it.
Yeah, you can
need
just
to show up. Yeah, we don't need to show.
Did you forget to shave your legs? Is that why you don't want to be on
I did put my
camera?
gloves on. I got my gloves on.
Oh, put on your gloves.
So, yeah. Turn the light on so I can read this. Let's see if we can predict. Okay, notes. Let's go to the notes I'll do a first paragraph of the summary. I guess. Let me put my reading glasses on here. After an appointment, this is episode ESP, and the book, to be copyright compliant, is the complete book of Jerry Anderson's UFO, forward by Chris Bentley, forward by the man himself, Ed Bishop. So here we go. Show notes. The episode is ESP, so it's E.S.P. So teleplay by Alan Fennell, directed by Ken Turner. After an appointment with psychiatrist Dr. Bruner to discuss his unusually strong telepathic abilities, mild-mannered accountant John Croxley, I added the mild-mannered, has a premonition that his wife Stella is about to have a visitor. Meanwhile, Shadow tracks a UFO that is banking and weaving in an odd flight pattern, as if it is either trying to find or avoid something. Damaged by the interceptors, the UFO heads for southern England, apparently out of control. The estimated trajectory termination here is cordoned off, but as it heads for a landing, the UFO crashes to the upper floor of the Croxley's house, killing Stella. Oh, sorry, that's too soon. I shouldn't do that. But on his way home, Croxley has been stopped at a Shadow roadblock, and he experiences the disaster in his mind before passing out. In Mobile 2, Foster arrives in the ruined house just as the UFO explodes. Foster is badly injured. Raquel, you weren't cheering for that part, were you? I'm just kidding. But I know you're not a Foster fan. Actually, a great special effect in that they showed the windscreen getting cracked in the mobile. It was a really nice practical effect. And so Foster is badly injured in the explosion and taken to the hospital. Straker expresses his condolences to Croxley, but the man blames Straker for his wife's death. While he's recovering in the hospital, Foster tells Straker he has a strange feeling that he's being watched, and this feeling persists when he returns to duty a month after the UFO incident.
Duty.
Then Straker receives a personally addressed package in the mail with a gazillion stamps on them. I'm adding that. It's just covered in stamps. And he says a line like, "Oh, that person really wanted to make sure it got here," which contains a script written by Croxley detailing the entire Shadow setup, a complete dossier on the organization. So I won't read any more but that's the great setup on that episode. And let me read the notes here, because the notes are always really, really fun to read. In Alan Fennell's original script, Freeman tells Straker that the largest piece of destroyed UFO, measuring 6 inches, was found in Foster's left side, rather than embedded in Mobile 2 as in the completed episode. In the climax of this earlier version of the script, Croxley shoots Foster in the shoulder when he arrives in the driveway at the ruined house and continues to fire on him as Foster takes cover. Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. So more damage to Foster here. The gun reports cause part of the building to collapse, half burning Straker and Freeman. But Croxley escapes and pursues Foster into the drive. Reacting without consciously thinking about it, Foster shoots Croxley dead and then rescues Straker and Freeman from the rubble just before the entire house collapses. Ooh, I kind of like the way the episode ended, but I could see that working too. Yep.
Sean Carter from Mars.
Sean.
Planet Janet, she's a galaxy girl.
Hey, Janet.
DJ Ronnie G.
DJ Ronnie G. Good to see you all.
The package containing a film script that Croxley sends to Straker reveals his fictional address of Harlington Straker Studios as Harlington West in Wessex. Wessex was an old Anglo-Saxon kingdom centered on the upper Thames Valley and covering the area now occupied by Devon, Dorset, Hampshire, Berkshire, Wiltshire, Somerset, Gloucestershire, Oxfordshire, and Herefordshire. Sorry about my pronunciation there. I'm Swiss. Wessex became the dominant English kingdom in the early 9th century, but turned into an earldom under King Canute in 1016, only to be abolished by the Normans following the invasion 50 years later. Blame the French. Naming the telepathic accountant Croxley and then having him write a film script appears to have been an in-joke by Fennell. Croxley's script is a type of paper that was used specifically for film and television scripts at the time. Interesting. Including those for UFO. Croxley's script is actually a shooting script of the previous UFO episode, Confetti Check A-OK, decorated with a digital strip of red tape. Parts of this episode are scored with music originally composed by Barry Gray for the Secret Service. So then we've got a guest cast. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting about Croxley. He appeared in John Stratton Croxley was first noticed by television viewers playing the ill-fated Captain Potter in the BBC's Quartermass in the Pit. He later appeared in regular roles as reporter Fred Blaine in Granada's It's Dark Outside, Mr. Bott and LWT's Just William and Smith, The Man of Law, and the BBC Trinity Tales. His other film
in Quatermass and the Pit.
Yeah, his other film roles included Terror from the Year 5000 and Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, 1974. We've seen the episode of The Avengers, Professionals, Doctor Who, The Two Doctors, and Julia Bravo. He died in October 1991 at his young age of 65. Yep.
Aww.
Oh my God, that's shock guy for The Two Doctors. Holy crap, didn't recognize him.
That's him. Yep.
Ezra, yeah, you mentioned Colin Baker. He just made 80. Wow, Colin. But yeah, that's him. Holy crap.
And Douglas Wilmer, Dr. Broomer, is best known for his role as Nayland Smith in The Brides of Fu Manchu and The Vengeance of Fu Manchu. Wow. And his role as a title character in the 64 BBC series Sherlock Holmes. Party later replies as The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes' smarter brother.
Nice.
Yeah, interesting. He was also in Revenge of the Pink Panther and Octopussy. Episodes of The Invisible Man, The Saint, The Avengers, Journey to the Unknown, The Protectors. Yeah, so of course, you get these British actors are, end up, if you've got a character actor, he ends up being in a lot of different different shows and gets well known. So let's read the oops. Oops are always fun too. Yep.
Okay.
So oops. Douglas Wilmer's character is named Dr. Ward on the episode credits, just as he was in the script. But the psychiatrist is clearly named on scene twice as Dr. A. Brunner on the name plaque outside his office. When Straker welcomes Foster back to duty in his shadow office during the line, good, no more little men watching you, he lifts the pot to pour coffee into his cup and does it again the following cut to a different angle. But his coffee got cold. He was just refreshing it.
That's right. Stop being a nitpicker.
Wow, that's pretty nitpicky.
That's nitpicky.
That's super nitpicky.
MCGEAGH is miscredited as Stanley MCGEOGH on the end titles. Well, I don't know how you noticed that, but yeah, okay, we got. I guess
who cares?
If wrong. Well, if it was you, but I guess it's okay. It's not, eat it a hoe. Yep. On location, it was filmed at Neptune House, ATV Elstree Studio Center, Eldon Avenue, Hertfordshire. 22. The Shire, 22 Bath Road, Slough, Berkshire, at the factory where Croxley works. Yeah. Hey, Maddie's daddy. And MGM British Studios. Major equipment. Oh, yeah. The engineers got to name the equipment. We had Marker's Universal Transporter, Shadow Carrier A21-384, Shadow Car A4-215, Shadow Jeep A2-221, Jeep A51-623, Shadow Mobile 2 that mostly got blowed up. And Space Interceptors and a UFO. So that's what the book has, and I can take my gloves off and put this put this book back down. I like this episode. I guess I'll let you guys talk about it, but I thought it was another good quality UFO episode.
Good? More like excellent.
I loved it.
Okay, yeah. Well, they're all good, excellent, yeah.
No, they're all excellent, Mark.
How dare you not like it enough?
Yeah, how dare you not be as enthusiastic as me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this episode. I think that the gentleman John Stratton, who plays John Croxley, is absolutely outstanding. I can't even believe that this is TV. I mean, the scripts are so good, and they treat you like such an adult, and you have such a wonderful time, and things aren't all neat and tidy, and it challenges the Hollywood ending, and it's just everything about it. It's just beautiful. I mean, I have a bunch of notes, but I guess the thing that really stands out for me in this episode this week is the fact that I had such a different experience the first few times I watched this through because I'm Canadian. And so because I'm Canadian, I was watching the British broadcast of it. So I was watching the ITV.
Order,
And
you
so
mean, yeah.
I got this as 25. And so for me, like the first thing I think of is I still have gay. Like and Nina will take over, and I don't want to do any spoilers. It's really difficult to avoid that huge spoiler that's coming, but it's also the fact that I get Mark Bradley until the very end, right? Harry Baird,
Yep.
who is Gay's, love, right? Those two are
He was in
together.
this episode, yep, for a brief second, yep.
Well, yeah, and he's also in the title credits, but it's the fact that his presence is like, I really like Mark Bradley, but the reason why it stands out to me is because when you watch it in production order or you watch it in USA order, do you ever get a different impression of this show? Because I have my characters all the way up until episode 25, right? I have them all the way up to there. So I thought that it would be good to point that out. But yeah, anyway, huge difference.
Absolutely.
Well, I thought
He is,
you
go ahead.
want to go, Mike? Yep.
No, go ahead.
Well, I agree with Raquel. The actor, the lead actor, Croxley, he's the lead in this episode. Basically, he carries it. And if without his good acting, if we had a lesser actor, if we had the writer from the previous Tales of Tomorrow episode traveling to the future to be in this episode, it would have tanked, because you can see the terror and the fear and
yep.
And what I love about UFO is they don't automatically explain everything. They treat the audience with intelligence, so
yeah,
you figure out right away that he's got ESP, or he can read his wife's mind.
Yes,
but without saying it. With it, the dialogue is just so intelligent. So that first scene in the car, you're getting that. And she's like, well, you can go to the doctor and he's going to help you. But you can imagine it's a takeoff on that Twilight Zone episode where the person, isn't it, when he flips the coin lands on his side, and he can hear everyone's thoughts, everything everyone's thinking, and it's eventually starts to drive him crazy, which you can only imagine if you knew what everyone was thinking, and how, what a weight that would be on your mind. And the other interesting thing was at the end of the episode, they talk about the end, but they're talking about how many the doctor says how many other people are out there, how many people have been, we're doing mild spoilers, but how many people, how many people have been affected by aliens. And so that was another interesting thing, like how, and that also sets up, what if there are other people out here? Because you find out that the aliens are, basically controlling his mind somehow, and you do get those bits of dialogue finally telling you why the aliens are here. So basically, their planet is dying, they're out of resources. Why are you fighting us? So it was almost
all
like an
the
alien
intentions.
was talking to. Yeah,
all the alien intentions are revealed. Yeah.
Yeah, and they say that we have good intent. Don't they say what's the line?
Well, we mean you no harm. Well, they shouldn't have acted like that. And I was surprised. That was the one thing that left me a little bit wanting was Straker and asking, really, why you're attacking us then? Trying to establish some kind of dialogue. At least
that they're evil.
He should have said something to them, but I guess
Yep.
Probably they would have gotten to that more down the road. But anyway, sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Well, I think it's also because Croxley is fighting for his own body at that point, right? And Straker actually says that. But let's go back to the beginning, guys. I'd like to return to this conversation that Mark initiated, that I have in my notes, because it stood out to me as well. And that is this idea that what is happening to Croxley is actually, it has a physical impact on him. So he's nervous and sweaty. He's scatterbrained. So this isn't a superpower, which I think could have been easy to do at this time in this type of science fiction setting. But instead, they make him a tortured man. And I just cannot believe what a great job John Stratton does in showing, He's perspiring. His eyes are beady. He's quite nervous. He doesn't want this to happen to him. He doesn't want these intrusive thoughts. As a matter of fact, he feels like he's losing his mind. He wants to go to a psychiatrist, and he wants to be rid of this entire thing. Whereas, like you two were alluding to earlier, and only touched upon it briefly, anybody else, I think that in a lesser show, they might have sort of turned this into well, I know what you're thinking. And instead, he is so repulsed by this and is so tortured by it. I just think that is just absolutely brilliant. And I just love the way that John Stratton does it.
He's great. He's great. And this is so intelligently done, so beautifully done that you really come away. It's haunting because of how subtle this show always is, and how it doesn't go for the cheap thrill. It doesn't go for a spectacular fight or action scene. When it just has a very cerebral conclusion, a very disturbing one. They always do this on this show.
Yes,
and I love everything about the writing and the acting. Stratton is terrific. I can't believe I didn't recognize him from a great performance he gave on a Doctor episode many, many, many years later from this. But he is excellent. He sells this beautifully.
It's hard to believe this is a TV show. Hey, Clubby, just the
really
look on his face, his whole visage, his whole countenance. Like, how does a man make his eyes beady? Like, I can't imagine how he must have prepped for this role. But just watching him, it's like he wants to rip this ability out of his body, and you can feel it. And it's a TV show. This guy is such a great actor.
He is, and they all are. And this is this show never goes.
I wanted to get to this too, because I wanted your thoughts on this specifically, Clobby. I loved when Croxley turns to Freeman. So we are going a little bit further here. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but you were talking about the intelligence of the dialogue. It just made me go to the part of my notes where Croxley says to Freeman, "You have a more devious thought pattern."
I was just looking at I'm psychic. I was just clipping that to put in the text.
Right.
Oh no. But then when he looks at Straker, he says, "I must say you have a particularly logical mental process."
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what Clubby's talking about. Like when you get immersed in these conversations, when you get
written.
immersed in this dialogue, it's not just simply taking you from point A to point B. It gets you. And
then Straker turns it around too, because he knows Croxley wants to kill him, but then he flips it really intelligently and says, UFO destroyed your house, not me. Yep. So I'm putting the quote in. Yeah. So it was part of a carefully laid plan. So, he flips it. You're like, and then he figures out the aliens have taken over, his mind. So Croxley's mind. So it's, and then he says, "You're thinking about your mother." So it was just brilliantly written. And you're wondering how they're gonna get out of this.
At that point, though, Mark, he was blocking him.
But thinking about his mother, he was also confusing. It was like that gave him this, that threw him off of his game, because this is innocent mother. He's thinking about, kind of.
He pulled a Kirk. I totally agree with you, Clubby. That's what he was doing. He was pulling a Kirk. He was messing with his mind. Not only was he trying to throw him off the scent of his thoughts, and keep his thoughts to himself, but exactly like you said, Clubby, to show the humanity, because he knew this
humanized Straker to himself. Yep.
Yeah.
He humanized himself by thinking of his mother. It was brilliant.
Yeah. So he says, we must come to Earth. We must come to Earth to survive. And then he says mother.
And he didn't say Martha either.
And then he says Stella, his wife, who was killed. Yeah. So that was and then the other line from the aliens is, "Our planet is dying, our natural resources." Stella, Martha.
Why'd you say that name?
Why'd you say that name? Sorry.
Yeah.
Couldn't resist. But it was really, this episode is so good. I mean, I haven't seen a really horrible one yet. We never will, probably. We don't. But we still at this point don't know much about the aliens. And again, this is another little tiny little piece we learn about them here at the end of it. And my hypothesis is if the show had lasted into a second season, where they would have started unfolding more.
Yes.
This is the way that the British writers back then on television, be it ITV like this or even BBC, especially ITV, like The Prisoner. In other words, they don't have any problem with laying groundwork and make you, lay it out for you slowly. But they're talented, so they can make you interested and want to know, rather than tediously lay it out in the soap opera crap the way certain shows that we review on Saturday night sometimes do. This is more along the lines of the way Blake Seven did it, and The Prisoner did it, and of course, obviously, this one did it, which did it before Blake Seven, of course. So yeah, it's a little bitty tidbit about the aliens. Still, we know nothing, hardly anything really.
One thing that this show has taught me about you is that, everyone always says you're my Star Trek soulmate. But one thing that I've learned through doing the UFO with you is that we have something in common that I didn't realize until we did this show together, until we started reviewing UFO. And that is your love for this very cerebral dialogue. And now I realize why you love these British shows, why you love Blake Seven, why you like The Prisoner. It's not just the originality of the show and the science fiction aspect of it and the escape and the ideas. It's also for you, like you're like me, you really love that banter and you really want to be engrossed in these conversations so that you feel like the characters are believable, so you invest in the story. And so I love your reflections on UFO, and I've learned more about you through covering it with you, and I couldn't agree more. Like those same exchanges are remarkable to me as well, Clobby. Love them.
Thank you so much. Some of the greatest shows I've ever seen hinged upon the dialogue. Obviously, that's part of the characterization, and a whole episode or a whole story can hinge upon just a few lines of dialogue in the right places, acted brilliantly by a great actor. It just goes so far, and this show does that a lot. That's why it does remind me of Blake Seven and The Prisoner, or some of the better shows, Doctor Who, of course, Real Trek, some other things. That's why it rates up there with the shows that they don't have to shock you every week. They don't have to blow up the universe every week. They don't have to. It can be pretty subtle, and still, they also don't have to pander to the lowest common denominator of being a soap opera like certain shows we talk about once a week now. And being, Tumblr, basically being romance crap, and I don't know, just it's characterization should not have to rely on knowing everything about somebody's personal life, and then their romance, and then there's relationships and all that crap. I mean, that's lazy garbage writing that's just so common. It's common writing. You don't have any of that stuff with the better shows like original series Trek.
No one is doing weird kissing. No one is like forcing the women to act like the town bicycle. None of that weird stuff is happening. And yet we feel so bad for John Croxley when his wife we know that he loves his wife. Like even was it you, Clubby, or was it Mark who said like he don't say her name or whatever, and this was a man who was in deep pain because he loved his wife, and what happened to him like traumatized him. And so we don't have to have any weird kissing that looks like a mother bird feeding her baby bird. We don't have to have any of this forced schlock. We have like Odo
and Kira.
That's what made it more brilliant to me. What you're talking about just kind of made me think of something. At the beginning of this episode, because of this actor doesn't look like your conventional leading man type. Yeah. This episode was really more intelligent when you think about it, because I look at that guy. We know he's disturbed. And he has a serious problem with his ESP. When I first saw this episode, my thought processes were he's going to go evil. He looks like he's going to do something horrible to her. She looks scared. She looks all this stuff, and then it takes a turn. It made me think, because of so many TV shows I've watched before, that this guy looks like he's going to end up to be the bad guy and be horrible. And it turns out he's anything but, and he really did love his wife, and he was all alone in this world. And that, at least for me, everyone's different, had a different reaction. When I first saw it the first time, I didn't know that he was going to be sympathetic. I thought he was going to be some kind of a monster.
Agreed.
Or having an affair, doing something.
Yeah, he looked like he was in a nasty mood. He talked to her like, he was kind of rude to her early, as you can see, and yet it went completely in the other direction.
Yes. His ESP had actually destroyed their intimacy, but you don't realize that until you realize how tortured he is and how he feels as though he's losing his mind to the point where he wants to go to a psychiatrist and just get this feeling, get this ability out of him. And I totally agree, Clubby. I think the casting for this role was just outstanding, and this gentleman is just a very, very, very talented person, and and he enhanced the show immensely. That he did such a marvelous job on this episode.
Absolutely excellent job, and again, all around they all were really excellent. Again, it was what I love the most about that ending is that it was relatively subtle. You had guns were shot, but it's all done with mood and dialogue and writing, and the bit at the end where was like I said, when Straker kind of humanized himself in the guy's mind.
Yeah,
brilliant! What a brilliant ploy! And then Foster has to shoot him. He didn't wish he hadn't had to, but he did, and that was pretty cool.
And Straker isn't angry with him at all. Straker says Croxley died willingly. He died knowing that he was periodically controlled by aliens, and so he allowed himself to be killed. He knew that Paul Foster was going to shoot him. He could have prevented it, but he couldn't see any other way out. And he was coming in and out of a control over his own body. And rather than saying, it's best that he's dead, once again, we have this very Kirk-like Straker who turns around and shows pity and compassion. He compassionates him, and then is it Freeman? Is it Alec Freeman or is it Straker who says, this is terrible what has happened? And here we have these aliens saying that they have no, bad intentions, but they're harvesting our organs, they're stealing our bodies. Now look at what they've done to him, and look at what they've done to his life, and so now we realize this. And then I think it's either Alec or it's Ed. But he says, how many other Croxleys?
None. Yeah.
How many?
None, just her family. Yeah.
How many other people are they going to do this to?
I think it was Alec, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
and so this whole idea of we come in peace, we don't have any evil intentions. We know for a fact that not only do they have evil intentions, but we see what they did to John Croxley, and we know that whether they're aware of it or not, they are definitely harming human beings, and the more they come, the more they're going to harm human beings, especially because they don't even recognize when they're harming us. And that's really the one of the most powerful messages of this episode is, behold, we come in peace. That's not what's said, but it's just typical science fiction. And everything that has been done to humanity has been excessive, extreme physical, emotional, and intellectual violence. And so it really leaves this disturbing feeling with the viewer. And it's just remarkable. It's good stuff.
Mr. Angel, Chef, good to see you. And Mazarus, good to see you. Thank you.
Chef and Maze, so good to see you.
Maze, hey there.
You need to finish that song, Maze.
Yup.
Maze is writing the song.
Terrific episode. What are we ready to rate it, or do anyone else have anything to say about it?
Well, I just go ahead, Raquel.
I'll quickly go through my notes. I just said poor John Croxley, clever not to cast all of this as a superpower. Instead, this is a tortured man. John Stratton is an absolutely brilliant actor. Lieutenant Mark Bradley, it's so nice to see him. Harry Baird, I just love him, especially as Gay's lover. This is, we see the difference between the production code and the ITV. I absolutely love the mobiles, the amount of mobiles in this episode. As everyone knows, I am a practical effects junkie, and I just love the mobiles. Then I wrote in my notes here, this is a horrifically sad assassination attempt. And then I said, beautiful practical effects. I absolutely love Miss Elin. I think not only is she beautiful, but I love her. I love her with Straker. I love the way they interact. Yes, and then that quote, you have a more devious thought pattern, Croxley. And we learn a little bit about Alec there. Croxley reveals all of the alien intentions, but everything that the aliens are saying betrays truth. So we know them now to be even more evil than we thought before, because they come with this, behold, I come in peace, but they want to cut us up and harvest our organs so that they can live. They want to use our bodies and turn us into puppets until we're killed, and our relationships are destroyed. So now we know they're even more evil than we thought before. And then I have Paul saves the day, and then all that stuff that I said about Straker showing compassion and saying, this poor man, look at what they've done to him. And then I think it's Alec, Clobby thinks it's Alec also who turns around and says, how many more Croxleys are there or will there be? And so it's quite horrible. Larry, hi, sweetheart.
Larry.
And
Larry.
Claude, hi, Claude Salling.
Claude.
Good to see you.
Hey there.
And so that's all I have to say, guys. And I should give the floor over to Mark now. Mark, Claudia had to say. I had my say. What's your
rating though? Number one, by the way.
I'm an A++. I think that this is phenomenal. I can't even believe that this is on television. UFO. From the moment I started watching it, it became second only to me. For me, it's second only to TOS. I really put this up there with Blake 7. I put this up there with The Prisoner. I put this up with TOS. It's so incredibly good. I don't even know how to deal with it. If I go on too long about it, it will seem as though it's hyperbole, and it's not hyperbole. It's that good. And it's accentuated by the fact that our TV today sucks so bad, and this is so good. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
My prediction was wrong. I predicted you give it an A+, so I was off by a plus on my. I was already writing down what your rating was as I save all our show notes, because I like doing that because I'm a weird engineer like that. But
no, we love
you never know when you might need a spreadsheet someday and all our UFO ratings.
We love you. Don't be ashamed of that. We love you.
Joking, yeah. But I like that Croxley ends up the hero in this episode too, because like you guys were saying, you kind of not think he's not a conventionally handsome / Hollywood actor,
right?
And you think he's going to end up being the real bad guy, and part of the way and part of the brilliance of the writing and the directing is you actually think that for a little bit. And you're 100% right, Raquel. There's no superhero. He's not going powers. He's not going to guess the lottery or use these powers. It's actually a curse, as you said, on him. And then it's and the twist of the end is that he sacrifices himself, and he could have saved himself probably, but he realizes what's happening to him. And the other inference was they said the aliens have been doing this to him from the time he was a kid. They think, that maybe they've been scheming this way too. So you wonder. I'm thinking that when these aliens are talking, they're just trying to trick, Straker at that point, and just we come in peace, but Straker knows that's a bunch of BS. But maybe they planted these aliens, and of course this is the backdrop too of the Cold War still raging at this point. So not saying it's a metaphor, but in my exact metaphor, but it's almost like a spy has been planted, or the seeds of a potential invasion have been planted years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I just have to mention too, like today there was news. I think it was in New Jersey or out in California where a family saw something fall from the sky, and then the cops actually saw it too. I don't know if anyone saw it.
Vegas, wasn't it Las Vegas?
It was Vegas. Yeah, maybe Vegas Thor, Maddie's daddy can tell us about it.
Yeah, Steve M's here.
and the cops are actually investigating and asking people, do you see something? The people claim to see a 10-foot tall, big, tall monster. So
Get out of town.
yeah, but there's more and more stuff is coming out about UFOs, and I'm not a conspiracy person, but I do believe that the chances are there's life out there, and have they visited us yet? Maybe. I mean, if you've read read the Chariot of the Gods, that book, or watch some of that some of those series, there's a lot of interesting theories out there, and but there's more and more quote unquote alien evidence
there goes
out there.
The NBA, if you're telling the truth.
Yeah, and then the other day there was an article about how the government has like an Area 51 where they've got alien spacecraft, and I don't know, who the heck knows, but it's very, very interesting to see that more and more stuff is out in the public, and you're not considered wackadoodle to talk about it anymore. Like Jimmy Carter used to get made fun of, or former president from the 70s, because he claimed to have seen a UFO. I think he said UFO though, but and now it's pretty much accepted that you're not considered destined for the loony bin. If you claim to see something. So, and with cell phones
I
now
don't
these
know.
days too.
The bottom line is if you think we're the only thing out there, I don't know. I think that's some pretty that's hubris.
That's silly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's dumb to assume. I think the reason why they created that idea socially and sort of spread that idea socially is because they were worried about panic, because we were just going to the moon. It's 1969. Neil Armstrong's gonna set foot on the moon, and what's going to happen. And so I think that they were just trying to make it seem like, just be calm, everything will be okay. There's no proof. Don't be crazy. But I think we've sufficiently advanced as a society now, especially scientifically, intellectually, that I don't know. Like I think you would have to be, I don't know, kind of an idiot to think that there isn't something out there. I mean, think about it. Like, just imagine what it would be like to be in the Pinwheel Galaxy. Like the Pinwheel Galaxy is supposed to have the most opportunity mathematically for something like that to happen. I don't think we're alone. I don't think we're alone. I don't know if some glassy-eyed 10-foot NBA player landed in Las Vegas this week. I don't know about that, but I do know that I would never say that there isn't life out there and say it emphatically and believe it. I think you'd have to be a bit of a gearbox, a Doomkopf to take that position. There's just too much opportunity out there, and plus I come from a place as an intellectual where I don't believe in the idea of being a snowflake. I don't think that, my life is going to make this massive impact on the world. And, I'm very, very special and I must be treated as such. I'm one of billions and billions and billions of people.
I think you're special.
Oh, I love you, but I'm not. But you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't see humanity as something special. At least I hope we're not special. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we are though. I think we're the best. Not me. All you other humans though.
Our basketball players could take any other world's basketball players. I've seen Space Jam.
Well, if they're 10-footers are coming here, that's we got to kiss the NBA goodbye. Because I mean,
I'll just raise the hoops.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's really, really interesting. Yeah, I do think there's got to be life out there. Fox Mulder, I want to believe. But it just makes sense logically that the galaxy is that big. You can't even comprehend the size of the galaxy. I found a documentary, I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago, on space, where the infinite size of the galaxy. It's I think I forgot to send it to you, Raquel. I think you'd like it, but it's just trying to grasp that concept. It's at a loss for words, just the size of the universe. So yeah, there's got to be something out there, although it's we've been warned too, we might not want to meet someone from another galaxy. Or
this is what I'm trying to explain to people. Like I think it will be highly unlikely given what I've read from Stephen Hawking and others, that what reaches back has a face. Like I just don't think
Yeah.
that I think that's going to be a little too convenient. I think that, whatever comes here will be adapted to something else. It will have evolved elsewhere. Of course, unless there's something crazy has gone on, like we've been seeded here, which is why I like that concept in science fiction, this whole idea of being seeded. I think it's a super cool idea, but I just like Stephen Hawking, I am worried about what reaches back, because what reaches back will have significantly higher technical ability than we have, obviously, to bridge that gap, that distance. And we can't assume that it's going to have an Earth-like form, or that it will have evolved the way we have. Like I said, it's it's pretty scary. But the way that in my own words, the way I put what Dr. Hawking talks about in his book is, they're not his words, they're mine. But if it reaches back and it doesn't have a face, don't be surprised.
Or people think it might be AI, that, all this
Yeah.
talk of AI now, which is nothing new in science fiction, of course, but they think that, AI could evolve to replace humanity, or we merge with AI, of course, Star Trek has those concepts of man becoming machine, putting your mind in an android body. In the good Star Trek, I'm not talking
What
about the
about a
other
laser
later,
beam?
but you don't know. So yeah, that's
A
what's
laser beam can travel at the speed of light, right?
yeah. So
So
what if that
if we
carries the
move
intelligence or the information?
transhumanism forward, and we can somehow put personalities and thoughts and whole human beings and their whole existence, their feelings, their thoughts, their life experiences on that beam. I mean, now
You guys
you're
continue. I'm
cooking.
going to take medicine, by the way.
Go ahead, boss.
Okay,
Now you're cooking with salt and butter. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, and of course that's one of our relates to one of our favorite movies, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, where V'ger becomes sentient, is a AI slash intelligent machine, and it's considered life, and of course you get that new life when he's stuck with the Decker unit, but also Ilea there, and that's what's so beautiful about that story.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's what's going to happen to humanity, or what, like you said, you could have the day that Earth stood still, you have the you think it's the robot that is visiting it at first, and then you learn it's he's just the protector of the alien. But
Mm-hmm.
conceivably it could just be the 10-foot or 12-foot tall robot coming to visit, or it's an AI creatures. So yeah, it's just and that would make sense too in terms of traveling at light speed or near light speed.
Yeah.
You could live an infinite amount of time. If you're a mechanical being, you live forever. It's just it's mind-boggling to Larry says nomad, to this the possibilities, and with the universe being as limitless, and could we be the only planet in the galaxy, the universe? I guess that has life, but
Well, I don't know if I
what are
buy
the
that.
odds? But what are the odds of that? The odds are infinitesimally
How many planets?
small. I mean,
How many planets are estimated to be in the Pinwheel Galaxy? How many planets
I have no idea, but
how many planets are estimated to be in the Sombrero Galaxy? I mean, you just think about all the galaxies out there. Every time you watch Saturday Night Star Trek, that video that I made for Clubby for the intros and extras, some people might think it's hokey, and that some of the visuals are like, why'd she use that? She should have done something more
I love it.
high tech. All of those images are from NASA, and they explore ideas, and some of them are actual pictures, and of course they have to be enhanced and stuff. But once you get a handle on what it's like to look at a photograph of galaxies and just seeing all those galaxies, you realize just how small and insignificant your life is. And I think that the prevailing opinion was that we would lose hope if we learned that. But it has the opposite effect on me. Knowing that my life is insignificant actually makes me strive harder to make my time here matter, and to do good things with it, and to not harm other people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Whoa.
Sorry,
Mark.
Yeah.
Where's
I
Mark?
took the wrong thing down.
Hi, Mark.
I'm sorry, Mark.
Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah. Now
No,
can.
it's okay. Yeah.
I
I thought I
I
disappeared.
thought I was taking the.
Oh no, it's okay because it's me.
Oh.
What it is? This is
I'm sorry. I was
OBS
trying to get that so we could. Shoot. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. We already went through it anyway, so no, it's good. Yeah, no.
All right. Sorry about that.
That's OBS Studio, so you use a virtual camera to show
no
the thing.
wonder.
Oh,
I thought
it's
I was
all
just
good.
taking the. That was something you were sharing. Shite.
I said the most
did you?
profound things. I said the lotto for tomorrow. Did you guys get the numbers?
Yeah, I did.
I predicted it
Sorry
at
about
ESP.
Anyway. So sorry. Sorry again. Sorry.
No, God, don't ever be sorry. Yeah,
I'm always sorry.
but we love this episode. This was great. Great
You guys
stuff.
were talking
yeah.
about the universe.
We
Just
are.
remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving, revolving at 900 miles an hour. I love the Galaxy song from. Never mind. Eric Idle. All right.
Life, the universe, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That too, of course. Life, the universe, and everything, everything. Yeah. So the answer is 42. Well.
So what? Oh, and did the chat rate this? Rate this in the?
The chat, maybe I don't know.
Well,
give them
let's
a chance
ask
to rate
them.
it?
Chat,
What,
did
did you
you
rate it?
watch ESP? And if you did, would you mind sharing your rating with us?
If you have, yeah, I don't know how
If you
many of you
haven't.
watched it. Hey, Jill.
Hi, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So long, and thanks for all the fish. Yeah.
Meeting Life was a great movie.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So, anyone who wants to rate the episode, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't
get-
do like
get
a
sidetracked
six-parter like on Saturday Night Star Trek.
No, no,
Yeah, no.
no mini essays.
200 characters or less. Yep.
I begged them to
Don't
get
push
them
it.
to 5-parters, and they're still giving more than 5. I'm looking at you, Stephen M. Carlisle. Just kidding, buddy. And Shooter. Nah, I'm kidding. And Needy.
I tried for 3.
Yeah, I'm just teasing. They can do whatever they want.
Yes.
Well, in the beginning, it was fun
They
because
can,
no one
but
ever
yeah.
no one ever did a 2-parter till like Ash did that 18-parter. So I'd always write my reviews. I'm like, I've only got 200 characters. I gotta get this
Yeah,
shorter.
but Ash was doing that because he was in the same position as Lisa and Enigmatic Drop Bear. Like Ash had never watched that before. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
had
Yeah.
like he grew up with Star Trek, but it wasn't something that he sat down and watched in a linear fashion. And so when he was experiencing that with us, here was this young man
Right.
who hadn't even been to university yet. He's so young. I love Ash. And he was hanging out with these old fogies, actually participating and watching the episodes with us. And so I think he was really blown away at what he was watching. And so he wanted to express, and we encouraged him to express all of his feelings on it, like we do with Lisa and Enigmatic Drop Bear, because it's so crazy cool to be around someone who is experiencing an iteration of Star Trek for the first time, or experiencing Star Trek for the first time. So it's kind of our fault. We 100% encouraged him to do that because we're like, oh my gosh, the next generation. Ash, Katie Carr, these younger people who actually didn't mind hanging around with old fogies talking TOS. It was great.
Hey, Kal-El, look, you never have to sign a contract. You have carte blanche, buddy. And I know a lot of people who shop at carte blanche.
Ash actually, I hate to remind everyone, but the first thing he saw was the 2009 Star Trek movie.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Well, yeah.
There was a movie in 2009 that was called Star Trek.
So
There
that's
was
why he was
not.
enjoying That's why he was enjoying TOS so much. So that was
Yeah.
his first experience.
You would have to. I
With,
don't trust you to bring that crap up.
He's a
Good
sweetheart.
Well, I have to be honest. Yep.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Anyway, so we have a couple ratings. Simply Steve says, I give it an A minus.
Okay.
Okie dokie. And
Nice.
Fiona says A plus plus.
Yay.
For the acting alone, I could almost forget about the plot. I was so mesmerized by the performances. The concepts of ESP, trauma, and sacrifice were exceedingly well done. The ep was tragic. Indeed.
Yes.
Well said, Fiona. Yeah, beautiful.
Very well said.
Well said.
And in
as
200
always.
characters, that's A plus plus for getting it in under 200 characters. Yep.
Indeed. It is.
Fiona, that's pretty good.
Yep. Star Trek: The Woke Generation, indeed. So I guess now we could get on to our new
Your new segment.
Our new segment that we have.
I'm so excited.
Do you have
John
something
Carter.
to introduce that new segment?
We'll see.
Maybe?
I'll see if I can rummage around and find something. I don't.
Why don't you work something up quick, Clobberin Times? Why don't you do something quick? Yep.
I'll look into it. Give me a second. Sean Carter says, I don't like carte blanche. I prefer carte Dorothy or carte Rose.
Oh, thank you for being a friend.
I don't know what those are, but cool.
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls.
Well, no wonder I don't know what they are. I don't watch that. I'm not a golden girl.
You don't watch the Golden Girls? Come
I'm
on.
not a girl. As far as I know. At least not yet, anyway.
My offspring likes that show so much that I bought her the button where you hit the button. It's like a dinner bell, but it's a button and the little Sicilian lady Rose. No, her name isn't Rose. What's her name? Estelle Getty's character.
I don't know.
The older lady, the oldest looking lady.
The older lady. What's her name?
She's not actually the oldest technically, but yeah.
But she's not. But Estelle Getty's character was Ma.
Yeah.
But what was her name again? Anyway, I can't think of it. Anyway,
I don't know.
She hits the button and it's funny. It's actually really funny.
Oh, let's see. By the power of the interwebs, I can tell you.
Sander Hammerslag, what's up? Good to see you.
Hey, Sander.
Fiona, I'm so sad and disappointed right now that you're making cookies that I would never eat because it's got nuts in them.
I love macadamia nuts.
It's got no nuts of any kind belong in cookies ever. Don't stop that, please. Stop it! Whoa.
Double chocolate macadamia nut cookies from Costco are so good.
Oh no, don't. Chocolate chips, yes. M&Ms, okay, sure. Put those in cookies if you have to. That's great. Only in those peanut butter cookies, there's little pieces of peanuts, maybe, but even still, not too good. So they need to listen to me and do things the way I guess we'll have to allow it. Good one, Fiona.
That's why I hang around here.
Oh, right. Well, let me tell you something. Almonds. Ugh. So, yeah. A segment. What do we have? What should we do? Oh,
you got a segment, boss.
I have a an
introduction. Why don't you create an opening?
Yeah, I love cashews.
Yuck.
And
all right. Let's see here. I like peanuts, but not with chocolate. Yeah, but never mind. All right, everybody. Star Trek. You've all heard of it. Well, most of you heard of it.
Yep.
This is a new segment. A couple of years back, Minimus and I did a live stream. This is one of the early shows that you attended, I believe, Raquel. About the history of Star Trek comic books and comics, in general, comic strips. And that was a lot of fun. Enjoyed it. And of course, I've always been meaning to go back and do something else, like review some or this, that, and the other thing. And tonight we're just going to talk about. We're going to start like reviewing a different issue. Starting next week, just random issues, and it's going to be killer for Raquel because she doesn't like anything random. But we're going to push her out of her comfort zone.
It's good.
She's not into comics either, so there you go. It'll really be mean to her. But you see, my weird Star Trek origin starts with comic books, just like, but go figure, right? it's funny because it's weird when you think about it. Because my favorite thing in this world, my favorite superheroes started on TV. Adam West Batman TV shows. That's how I learned about Batman. A comic book character. Fantastic Four cartoon on Saturday mornings when I was a kid in the 60s. Comic book characters, but they were on TV. All my favorite comic book characters I got into because of TV when I was very, very young and couldn't go buy comic books, right? So in the late 70s, I didn't get to see a lot of Star Trek, so I never really watched it that much. I had nothing against it when I wanted to see it, and we weren't getting reruns of it at the time. In 1979, when I was all of like 15 years old, I started seeing ads in and on the back of various Marvel and DC comics. What's that? I wish I got a picture of that poster.
I'll find that ad. You want the ad?
Yeah, man, I wanted to show that. I forgot all I was going to bring.
I'll get it. The original teaser poster.
I discovered my all-time favorite. Yes, exactly. I discovered my all-time favorite TV show via comics. How weird is that? I mean, I knew about Star Trek. I knew it existed, but I knew nothing. I mean, I knew about Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica, and we weren't getting Star Trek here at the time. At least not. I had two brothers to fight. When it comes to like afternoon reruns, I had to fight two brothers so I'd seen a Trek here and there once, but I hadn't seen it that much. So here it is, just a couple of months shy of the release of Star Trek: The Motion Picture in 1979. I'm seeing those ads. Let me know when you got it. I could try to find.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah, I'm
you
just
got
downloading it right now. Yep, I got it. Yep.
Oh, cool. Thanks. On the
I'll
back
put it on as an overlay. Yep.
Okay. Thanks. I don't have any. I may not have any space though. SP4H. Hey, if you don't let me know, I have to clear something.
Oh, here. You know what? I'll let me just save this and I'll get it. Yep. I'll do it in my screen background. Give me 20 seconds.
No, you don't have to hurry.
Yep.
I may be out of space on my overlay thing because they're stingy with their overlay space now. So anyway, while Mark's getting that, I'll just say that they had these ads in the back of comic books, Marvel and DC. And I would say Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's like, oh my God, what is that? That looks fantastic. And I knew I forgot something. Oh, I'm so mad. I knew I forgot to. Anyway. I had to see it, of course. So eventually, a couple of weeks before the movie came out, something else came out that we're going to take a look at tonight. That I became a Star Trek fan. The weirdest way. Is that the weirdest way? I don't know. I mean, it's weird because it started with a comic book adaptation of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and I don't have to show them the poster. I can show them the poster later.
I got here we go. I got it. It's coming. Yep. Just hold. Just wait a second. It'll be right there.
I totally forgot. Damn it. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay. That's why you got me.
All right, the greatest engineer ever. Thank you. This thing, I'm sure you probably saw it, folks. Mark has this poster. Damn it.
You
can still buy
beautiful?
it. You can buy it still in places.
Did that not
put a link?
That made me want to. I couldn't wait. So, was Maddie Daddy running?
Or maybe
anyway,
Cal out. Oh, I'm not sure.
One of the two. That when people say goodbye to each other in the chat, I'm not sure who's leaving. Sorry, because it gets.
Oh, it's Maddie's daddy. Yep. Good night. Good night,
all right,
Steve.
buddy,
Take care.
So anyway, look at that. Isn't that not wonderful? You have this poster, right? Number one.
Actually, I don't have this one. I wish I did. I was going to order it, but it was just the regular size poster.
Gotcha.
I wanted to get I put it off because I wanted to get the movie size. So the one that they used to put outside of the movie theater. I wanted that size. I was pretty desperate to get it, but I don't know. I might just pull the trigger and just get the regular poster size poster.
Nice.
But I wanted the big one. The big one.
Of course. So tonight, in our inaugural Star Trek review segment, which will start properly reviewing regular random Trek comics next week, the AI show. Hello, the AI show. Good to see you. We're going to take a look at Marvel Super Special number 15, the comic adaptation of. You can take that down. I won't even think about.
Okay.
Thank you. of Star Trek the Motion Picture. But first, you can't start a segment without an intro. And I gave a little preview of it last night, and everyone enjoyed it. So everyone, the debut of, let's see, we'll do Clobby's first Trek comic. Clobby's Star Trek comics reviews on Clobby's Clubhouse and on CLOBBERIN Times. All hat tips go to the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, Raquel Briggs. Let's roll it.
Warp drive, Mr. Scott. Ahead warp 1, Mr. Sulu.
Accelerating to warp 1, sir.
Yeah. Number one, take a bow. Beautiful.
Thanks,
Thank you.
That was
Thank
amazing.
you.
well, thank
That
you
was
very
really
much.
Beautiful.
I'm glad
Everyone
you
enjoyed that.
it.
I think everybody enjoyed it. That's really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Can you play it again? Just kidding. That was so
Yeah,
good.
at the end, we will. We'll play it again, Mr. Smarty Pants. Okay. Star Trek, the motion picture comic book adaptation, Marvel Super Special number 15. This is fitting that this scan is very roughed up and worn out because mine got that way. I mean, that's what you did with your comics when you were a kid. If you read them, I mean, a lot of us did anyway. We just wouldn't put them down. They were for reading. And man, this gorgeous Bob Larkin cover was truly spectacular. He was, of course, one of the greater of the comic book covers. Now, by the way, I should say, if you want this, and you can track down the Super Special for probably not that much, but there's also just about 2 or 3 years ago, I think for the anniversary or whatever, they did a reproduction of this. It's reproduced the Super Special on higher quality paper. Eli McKinnis, hey there, welcome. So you could find that out there for like I think it was like $5-6 or something or whatever. Not too much, you know. So you could find a reproduction of this out there also, which I picked up to have a nice copy of it. But man, my old copy of this, I just wore that sucker out. So tonight we're not doing so much of a review. We're just going to talk a little bit about my first Star Trek comic, my first introduction to Star Trek. As you can see the opening pages. The adaptation was adapted by famed writer Marv Wolfman. Jim Shooter was the editor, of course. The art, of course, is by the great Dave Cockrum. He was inked by the extraordinary Klaus Janson. And I like that this scan shows all the articles and all the ads and everything as well, which is really cool. This gives you just imagine this is a few weeks before. This happened all the time back then. When a movie would come out, and number one, I don't know how it was in Canada when movies would come out up there, but when new movies were on the horizon, sometimes anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, not only the novelization but the comic book adaptation would be released. And so, if you were looking forward to a movie, remember those feelings, folks? Like I was talking about the other night. Remember looking forward to a movie? Remember, you remember anyone old enough to remember that?
Yep.
You could buy the comic and cheat and know what happens if you want, or the novel. And so this is a great opening right there. Of course, we even got some cool ads. See the Hulk ad there? But I thought again, I think this script was done from an earlier draft. But I'm a big fan of Dave Cockrum and, of course, Klaus Janson. I think they did a terrific job on the art. Marie Severin is one of the greatest comic artists of the era. It was also a great color. She did an extraordinary job on the coloring. Beautiful work, in my opinion. Here we go.
You can 100% take your time with this, because I wasn't able to acquire a copy that I could read online.
We're just going to go through it quickly.
Yeah, I've just this is actually something that I will actually enjoy. So I don't want you to feel rushed. Please take your time and enjoy yourself.
Thanks.
Because this is the first time I've ever seen this.
Oh, okay, good. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful. Like I think it's there are a lot of, for those who don't follow comic book adaptations of movies or don't remember them. Usually they were rush jobs given to artists, some good, some like backbench artists who, not so much. There weren't as so much anything but reliable to get the job done quickly. It's rare that they were done by the quality artist. Fiona says, I find Dave Cockrum very heavily dependent on inkers. Some of those X-Men look terrible. His later X-Men ink stuff by Bob Wyacek. Yeah, he was pretty dependent on inkers later in that point of his career when he was not doing well. As you know, he passed away fairly early. But his earlier days when he inked himself on Legion of Superheroes, he was great. And later on X-Men, his first run on X-Men with a couple of different inkers, and Terry Austin, I think, inked him on some of them as well. He was terrific. But Klaus Janson is great on Cockrum here. I think you had this, Mark, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He does again. Imagine
great artist. Yeah.
Imagine you don't know a whole lot about Star Trek, but you're just seeing this for the first time, and you're already craved. Look, at the time you're a superhero obsessed 15-year-old, but you're seeing this science fiction space opera. I mean, you'd already seen Star Wars a zillion times at this point, right? And even Battlestar Galactica. But you're seeing this, and you've seen a little bit of Trek here and there, but you don't know it that well. I can only imagine with someone who'd already seen a lot of Trek had gone, but So you see this beautiful art, and you see this ship. So there are times he drew the ship better than others, but I had no idea that when I went to the theater, I was going to see him flying around the Enterprise for as much as he does. They don't really do that in this comic, because how can you really translate that into a comic book page? But still, it's really nice art. Admiral, we'll just spend 18 months on it. This says, so a lot of the dialogue was working from, like I said, he was working from a different script. But they do have the exchange. They gave her back to me, Scott. They gave her back to me, Scotty. Gave her back, sir? I thought it was that easy with Nagura. Still, but any man who could manage such a feat, I wouldn't dare disappoint. She'll launch on time, sir, and she'll be ready. I must have read it 20 times before I got to see it in the theater.
Well, I just want to jump in. The hype on this movie was intense. I mean, as a Star Trek fan, your series has been canceled and there's conventions are happening. You of course, you had the movement to save the series, and we did get that season 3. Of course, I was too young to remember excuse me, this. But in the 70s, I had all kinds of Star Trek toys, which I still have. And Star Trek, the animated series, I can't remember what I saw first. I think it was a TV show, but I just loved the animated series as a kid. And they had all kinds of toys and the Mego figures, the Star Trek bridge playset, phaser guns, walkie-talkies. So it was really in the part of the popular culture. And then, of course, Star Wars came along, and you had this. Oh well, we've got to, use what Paramount, has got to use what we've got that's space related. And we all know the story about how Phase 2 was, turned into a movie. but there was a ton of hype. My friends, we kept talking about this movie, and I can't believe, you're getting a TV show that's coming back as a movie. Like, how the heck
That was
is
kind
that?
of unheard of at the time.
Yeah, can't believe it. I mean, we get to see Captain Kirk again and Spock, and we kept talking about. And of course, as Clobberin Tom said, it was on the back of all the comic books and the hype. There was huge, massive hype for this movie coming on. They spent a ton of money back on it. That wasn't $80 million they spent on this movie in 70s dollars. So a ton of money was spent, but I guess I'm trying to describe it, but just the hype factor, the anticipation, the love that everyone had for Star Trek, and to see this, like it's really happening. I don't believe it. Pinch me. That was kind of the feeling at the time when you went back, and of course you didn't have the interwebs, and you just had some fanzines and different ways to read information. But it was really tough to get. So then, of course, when you, like you said, when you got this comic, I'm sure, like you said, you read it a million times over.
Oh.
Yeah, because
I couldn't take my eyes off of it.
And it's really well done. Reading it again, I didn't get a chance to finish it, but reading most of it again, does a great job of translating the movie, and a lot of the dialogue is in there. So obviously they had this, the script, or it's very close. I mean, it's. Art is great, and it does a nice job.
They were working from some early scripts, as evidenced by this on this page, page 10 here, the last two panels. They put this back into the director's cut, even before this, like the TV version, when he wanted her back. Actually, they only got, I don't know if that was in an early script that they chopped Sulu's line if they filmed it, but he did say he wanted her back. He got her. And of course, as Captain Decker, this weasel head here. Yep. He's been with the ship every minute of a refitting. Ensign, I love how Uhura put him in his place. Our chances of coming back from this mission in one piece may have just doubled. So that, of course, was filmed and added back in. It was not in the theatrical cut.
And it belongs in there. Yeah,
it was a great.
I think
scene.
that's Uhura. I think that's Uhura's best line. I think in all the movies.
Yes, that was a great scene. That was
Mm-hmm.
sticking up for Kirk like that. Yeah. So anyway, again, all the dialogue is pretty much on point.
You get the transporter accident.
You got the transporter accident.
They do a good job just in those few panels of just telling you the horror of that accident, and the novelization is far, far worse when you read the novelization on that description. But
it should be, in case I forgot though, it should be noted these people were not shown the movie when they draw this. These artists never got to see the movie when they draw. So if you go, this doesn't look like that, or remember they're working from scripts and that's about it. And it's tough. And I think Dave did a good job considering. And, the ink, of course, inking by Klaus Janson, I just think is superb. And so most of the script is what you remember from the movie, like a little of its first draft type stuff. In fact, there's a bit here. Captain Kirk has the utmost confidence in me. And you too, Lieutenant. But anyway, I like that. Let's see, trying to find. Oh, yeah. See,
with the
there
beard.
he is. Yeah. I mean, can we go without having?
And they probably redesigned the whole sick bay, too. I know engineers, they love to change things.
Best line in the movie.
That's why when I went into the movie, some of the lines were different.
See, you're like, you got the lines wrong.
That bit's not in the comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
you're the only one yelling at the screen, right? Yeah.
Nice Kirby's two-page splash right here. Beautifully colored by Marie Severin, I thought. Nicely inked by Klaus Janson. Super. Again, man, I couldn't stop looking at this thing.
You think they had some storyboards? I wonder if they had storyboards back then.
They were given some storyboards.
Okay.
Well, I think that with comic adaptations, yes or no, depending on who they were working with. Remember, the movie company would come in and would bring them very little. And so
yeah, because don't forget the Enterprise is brand new too here. I mean, we've got the Enterprise refit. Yes. So
they were showing pictures. Yeah.
But they've never seen it. Yeah, never seen it on screen, obviously. So I think the deflector dish is a little bit big there, but that's okay. I still love it.
Go back. May I see?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. That's some wishful thinking there.
Yeah.
That's some deflector dish envy there.
Well, you said it, not me, but yeah.
Yeah. This is a line that always, because to this day, now remember, I saw this and read this a million times before I saw the movie. This is not in any cut, theatrical, director, so it may not have even been shot. But he goes, when McCoy admonishes Kirk, Jim, you're pushing. Your people know their jobs. He never says in any, except in this comic book, so do I, Bones. I know it means nothing to anybody else, but every time I watch the movie, I can't help but think of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Bones, shut up, Bones.
So bad.
Hi, Captain. But it's borderline in the simulator, Captain. I cannot guarantee she'll hold. What drive, Mrs. Puck? I mean, Scott. See, I screwed it up. Accelerating to warp 1, sir. Yeah,
We need to do the Clobby cut. We'll add so do I Bones into the. We'll cut that in.
Damn
for
it!
you.
Hey, Oliver Belamonte, what you say?
Evening, Oliver.
What you say up in here? Wormhole. Get us back on impulse power. Full reverse. Yes. So, anyway, here we go into the wormhole. Against, I just love the colors of this one. I think Marie did an outstanding job, in my opinion. Captain, you're
that
a
looks
jerk
like
off.
a restored version. My copy isn't that bright, which is nice too. So in terms
Which
of
copy do you have?
Well, my original comic too is
You may have the comic.
Yeah,
now, again, because Raquel has one of those. What happened was when this went into a regular series after the movie came out, they took this and they chopped it into 3 parts and made it a comic book size. For those who don't know, this is what we're looking at here is not comic book size. This is an 8.5 by 11 magazine format, like a magazine size book. This here,
and I have the 2 out of the bust up of the 3.
Exactly, you have the comic book sized version of this, and so maybe it looks a little compressed or whatever from what you're saying, Mark.
And was this came out first as a trade paperback?
Oh yeah,
was the special and then
a magazine.
As a
Marvel
magazine.
Super Special was magazine format.
Magazine. Yeah, so that came out first, and then they put it into the comic book.
Yeah, then they put the comic book in. There's also a paperback, a little small, the old pocketbook paperback size. That compressed it again, put it even smaller.
When you had good eyes as a kid, you could read those.
Yeah, and I also had the photo story. They did a photo novel of the motion picture too, which by the way was beautiful. Mine again, I tore that sucker up reading that thing. It was beautiful. Now the Wrath of Khan was in black and white, but the motion picture one was in color. I remember being pissed off. I mean, why is this in black and white? So anyway,
can we afford color?
Yeah, come on, man. Just because the movie was shot for cheaper. So anyway,
I love that panel on the bottom there with the Enterprise going through the warp.
Yeah.
Those 2 that's brilliant panels there. It's and he nails the Enterprise. It's gorgeous drawing.
Some nice shots. One of the things about Trek comics, when they can't draw the Enterprise, it aggravates me. He does it in some shots not quite as well, but in other shots he does okay shots of the Enterprise. And there's you can hear that music when Spock is flying towards that music. The Vulcan shuttle. Captain, I've come here to save you illogical humans. All right, so here we go. Now we're moving towards V'Ger. We'll speed it up. We'll get it done in a second.
No, you don't have to speed it up at all.
Actually, slow down because Raquel's trying to read it now. No, just kidding.
Oh,
I can't.
I just like
can't see it.
when they're in
I'm
museum.
over 50. I can't read that now. I'm like, it's so bad.
You're allergic to retinox?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to retinox, Bones.
Right. Just give him some glasses. They have a totally different dialogue in this scene in the officer's lounge. Mr. Spock, you reported that you felt strong thought emanations as if a group of minds. Can you make that about any plan? Negative, Captain. Only could sense an almost I can barely see it myself. Omnipotent pattern of logic. I understood no more. The invaders. No, that invades my personal life, Captain. You jerk. I inquired about. He says that invades my personal life. I'm telling you, this was from early scripts.
That invades my personal life, Captain.
He said also
you learned you were studying with the Vulcan masters.
He says,
Spock, it doesn't take a psychiatrist to figure out that you failed.
well, that invades my personal life was a response to Kirk saying also, there's nothing in your report about why you're here. That invades my, so that's what started that. And again, it totally got changed, obviously.
Yeah, and then Spock says, your deductions do you credit, Doctor, if your pure curiosity does not. Still, I contain fragments of my human self. And whatever you sensed out here is my only hope to accomplishing what masters could not.
My God,
Spock. Go for it. You go.
Even if you achieved perfect logic, you'll pay a price. It's giving your planet peace, but no art, no music, no poetry. Enough, Bones. Spock, you're my science officer. I'll expect an immediate report on anything further you learn or sense. I have accepted service here as a Starfleet officer. I will comply. You can see why they changed and reworked a lot.
Yeah, they had to change it. Okay, let's go to the next panel, please.
The tracker's infinity is Captain Red Alert. If you want to go, you want to stroll down now?
Just wait, please. Sorry.
Okay. I can read it all. By the way, we can get you a copy. We can get you we have copies.
Well, I was quiet for the first part here because I was actually looking for it online.
I sent it to you, Raquel, and check your email.
You did? Thank you. I will go and
sorry.
check my email. I was writing for a couple of days to get out my fourth story, so I've neglected my email. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that.
I just sent it just now. Yeah,
Okay.
Like a half hour ago I sent it, but I didn't think you'd look at it now. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of love the refit a little bit more too, and I even feel guilty about it in a sense as well, Fiona.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So anyway,
okay.
Some more nice art.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry.
No. It's okay. Go back to the green page.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah.
That's not that one.
This is good. Don't move.
Okay. Don't move. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, okay. A lot of this Marv Wolfman exposition here.
Oh, that's beautiful, though. I like that panel. That's called a panel, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, the green panel. I don't know whose idea that was, but that's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
What does that say?
The colorist.
I can't read that. What does that say?
Oh, the top, the writhing emerald whiplash of energy explodes against the Enterprise deflectors with an unearthly shrilling scream as all goes black like darkest pitch of space. The giant starship is caught in a blazing blue cocoon of electrical fire, which crackles menacingly on the force field barrier.
Wait. A blue cocoon of electrical fire. Yeah. Oh, what a great way to explain V'ger's energy field.
Kudos to Marv Wolfman on that one. Chekhov until a single, what's that? I can barely slash of virescent flame. I'm having trouble seeing it.
I hate getting old. Getting old sucks.
Yeah, my eyes are killing me. I can't see all that. But yeah. So, what do you say on that page, or
just Chekhov? Hold on. What's happening? Just wait 2 seconds. Sorry.
That's okay. What are you looking for?
Nice. Okay.
Find it?
You can change
Raquel's
it now.
just enjoying it.
I'm glad. I hope she's watching. And they got a big that big green squiggle being shot at him is kind of weird.
Oh,
like a wild comic, the
this.
emerald whiplash flashes agonizingly closer. Impact 5 seconds. Yeah, he didn't do well. Again, remember, you got to bear in mind he had not seen anything about what that thing was supposed to look like. It probably really was drawn like a squiggle on the storyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And they hadn't finished the special effects till the very end. It was the movie was rushed to theaters, so it was they hit that Christmas wasn't a December deadline. I think it was right before Christmas. So
I've always theorized that the artists both loved and hated getting the comic adaptation duty because of a movie, because they're always going to be picked on.
Once people see it,
we're not looking like the movie, and like, dude, we didn't see the movie, at least not before we drew this thing 5 months ago. So tell me when I'm good movie.
Hold on, just wait.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Well.
I
It's
just
harder to
made a
read.
link to this
I could read
actual
it
issue,
faster,
Raquel.
but it's harder to read. Hold on.
I sent
got
it to you. Check your email. I just
You have it, though.
newest email has the
Oh,
link.
okay.
Don't you own this comic?
I'll go and open it. Look at how pretty that is.
It is.
No, that's a nice
Okay, let me
panel
go
page,
open it.
Yeah,
Look it up.
yeah.
Your scan will look like this one, 2-pagers. Which
Damn it,
sometimes
Mark. I got the,
No,
I
I
got
sent- I
the
had the single
original
pager.
TMP poster up
Oh.
on Amazon. It's by Ski Town. I need to ask if anybody's ordered from Ski Town. I'm trying to order the comic, and now you send me the email with the comic on it.
damn it, Mark.
Damn it, Mark. You got
And
so much stuff going on.
He sent you 1-pagers, so it'll be easier to see.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, dokie. Okay, I'm going to get it now. Hold
While you're doing
on.
that, I'm gonna move along unless you want me to wait for
Okay,
you a minute.
move along home.
Unless you don't want me to, I'll go
No,
backwards.
no,
if you
go ahead,
want.
go ahead. I'll open it up. I'll open it up. Damn it. Okay.
How about that for Purdy right there?
Ooh!
That's
Pretty
gorgeous. Yeah.
Marie Severin knocked herself out on this one, I thought. Don't forget your virtual gloves to read the digital comic. Yeah, virtual gloves reading the digital comic. That's for sure. I'm feeling
You're damn right.
Don't touch the screen.
Okay. What did you send me here?
Oh,
here it is. I got it. I got it.
So
Oh,
one is
you're
everything. One
such a
is just
good
the comic.
friend. You
Yeah.
are such a cool guy. God, I love you.
we both, I mean, and this is not like illegal or anything. They sold these on discs years ago, like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the Trek comics. And we got, Mark and I both have these discs that have every Trek comic from the beginning till about 2003. So nothing like up to modern times, but still got all the Gold Key, all the Marvel, all the DC.
You can't look at them on Document Viewer. What the heck am I supposed to
It's an
watch?
alright. Oh, are you on Mac?
Yeah.
You might have to download a.
Damn
an
it,
app
Mark.
For that. Well,
I'm
that's
sorry.
how you don't have a comic book viewer on your
All right.
computer
I
already
don't
loaded
have a
up.
comic book viewer.
Why would you
Do you have a Chicago manual?
Don't you read,
No, you
don't you
don't.
read comic books all the time?
I use my Chicago manual all the time. Do you have an APA? No, you
Well, you can-
don't. Do you have an
No, I
MLA?
don't.
No,
Damn it,
you
Mark.
don't.
No, but I
Anyway.
have the most important thing, which is a
Comic
comic
book
book
viewer.
reader.
Okay. Just don't go too fast. Okay, so this is beautiful. I love this.
Right. You can see why this thing mesmerized me as a kid. I was like, wow.
Here you go, Raquel.
What'd you do?
Do you send me
CBR reader
something?
for Mac OS. There you go.
Good.
Tell me when I'm allowed to breathe.
You are redeemed, Mark. Damn it, Mark. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so this is gorgeous. This is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. I'm not going to go open that up yet. Look at this. This is beautiful.
This is the Attack of the Probe.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I reiterate, they didn't know what the hell they were supposed to draw. So she gets blasted. No. Ilea.
Wow.
Tell me when I can move. I'm afraid to breathe.
Yeah.
The AI show. Yeah, I teach style guides. That's a part of my nerdy realm. I teach all style guides. I studied them. Yeah, the AI show. That's the kind of person I am. Definitely not someone who you'd want to hang around with. This is what I mean. Geeks are cool. They know about films and comic books, and t-shirts and merchandise. I'm a nerd. No one wants to hang around with me, except for Clobby and Mark.
I do.
Yeah.
Even when you bite my head off for moving the page.
This is beautiful.
Oh, yeah, it really is. I love this comic. Yeah, beautiful movie, beautiful comic.
And the rendering of Leonard Nimoy and Nichelle Nichols is
yeah.
pretty damn outstanding. And you know, Jimmy looks good too.
Yeah,
Going full
nice
immersion.
likenesses. Yeah.
But Captain, if cannot break free in 15 seconds, the Enterprise shall burn up.
Fiona, I have Strunk and White.
Hmm.
I just think that perhaps folks have taken Strunk and White a little too far, you know. Plus, I use very far too much on the podcasting to ever mention Strunk and White.
It's a fact. Oh, I love this place, Roy Hill.
This is gorgeous. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Uh-oh. What did I do wrong?
Nothing. You're fine.
But no, you could whatever you want to see is good.
Vessel,
You're going to have your own copy of it. So.
free, no forward momentum. That's William Shatner's daughter. Maneuvering.
Where?
There. Thrusters, and it's a nice likeness of her as well.
By her?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's Chief DeFalco.
Was that? Yeah. That's DeFalco? Hold on.
Yeah, remember, wasn't that DeFalco? Remember Chief DeFalco took over for Ilea?
Yes.
I don't know what the actress's name, but she was.
But
yeah.
hold on.
Sorry. Shatner's daughter was on the bridge.
She was.
In Trek 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Didn't he try to get her involved in all of? Oh, never mind.
He did.
Well, you want to like get your kids involved. You know what I mean?
Well, sure.
Okay, you can go to the next one. Wow, her probe light is really big, but that's because it's illuminated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
See right there. Yeah. It is because it's illuminated. Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, that looks like a poorly performed tracheotomy.
Spock neck pitches a dude, but not.
Marcy Lafferty played DeFalco. Thank you,
Okay.
Fiona.
Thank you, Fiona.
My brain is just going nuts right now, trying to take in as much of it as I possibly can. And yeah.
Here's one of my favorite scenes. I mean, I was so upset. Even though I love the movie, don't get me wrong, when this didn't happen in the movie. When Kirk goes out, what?
This is something that you've actually spoken
about
before,
yeah.
and I've never seen it. So this is going to be amazing.
I think I've showed you before.
Pardon?
Well,
I think I showed you way back when, but yeah, here we go.
Okay.
And it was also in the TV version when it was broadcast on TV. They showed a clip of this scene on TV.
But they never filmed it all.
Never filmed. Yeah, but the sets weren't. Or was it on
no
cut scenes?
It was like a special scenes. Here, see, the thing is,
yeah.
All right, you see when when Kirk first leaves the Enterprise through in the TV cut, for some weird reason, they added an extra scene where he's coming out of the rafters. I mean, you could see that the set was above his head was unbuilt Enterprise. It was rafters. And they left it in. It's in the TV version, which is crazy. I'm like, what in the hell? I recorded it off of network television when they ran it because we knew there were going to be added scenes. I already had the thing on. It was called the special edition. In fact, I bought. Movies were expensive on VHS back then. I bought the movie, I mean, the motion picture, and then later they came up with the quote unquote the special edition. I bought that, and it had that scene in it. And then on network TV, I think they just ran the special edition. They may have added more to it.
Yeah, because back then
all
they
right,
wanted to make
Chris Persia, have a good one, buddy.
Chris has to leave.
Good night, Chris.
Good night, Chris. And Fiona knows what
here.
I'm talking about here. She says it here. This is the stuff absolutely no one cares about. And thank you for rescuing me, Fiona. Ensign Leslie and Lemmy were named after Shatner's daughters.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go. So
and back, I just want to say back then when they did a TV, when a movie came to TV, it was also a huge deal because, like Leopard was saying, you couldn't afford the VHS tape. It was on tape. It was $80, $100, a lot of money. But back then, it was even more with inflation, and they made a big deal. And they always try to get special scenes like, oh, you've got to watch it. Scenes never before seen. There was no such thing as deleted scenes on a DVD or a VHS tape at that point. And it was a big deal. They advertised this movie, and it was a huge deal to
thanks, Dave.
To watch this.
Yeah, you're right. No, man, it was huge back then when the Sunday night movie.
Can you play the Waddy sticks for him?
Can I do what now?
He wants Alan Moraine. He's showing the Waddy sticks.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, that's Alan Moraine.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. Anything for you, sir? Gotta get to it. Yeah,
I love Dave.
For those who don't know,
just kidding. Yeah.
For those who don't know, they had planned a scene where Kirk goes out after Spock into V'ger, as you all know, in the thruster suit, and then he's attacked by these diamond thingies. Bridge, stand by. I may be in trouble. Your phaser, Captain. Use your phaser. Can't reach phaser. So Spock need help. Pressure on, but he calls for Spock. Spock comes back.
I like this line for what is this? For an agonizing long moment, the grim Vulcan meditates. Then
hesitates.
Is that what that says? Hesitates?
Yeah, because I have it up on my monitor too.
Anyway.
Yep. Spock, what in the hell are you doing?
Why
are you out here?
I'm seeking answers, Captain. To what, Spock? Our dilemma or your personal one?
Yeah, because he connected with it, which I didn't have a problem with. I always knew that Spock would never, harm anyone.
So they were gonna, if that had been the case, and they had filmed that, which they didn't have. They toyed with it. They tried to put it together. It didn't work out. So I've seen some stuff where they showed them have some of those diamond thingies. And they really just couldn't put the effects together. So they scrapped the scene. Otherwise, it would have been Kirk and Spock. See this? Look at this. Is for the scene that would never happen. Yeah, Kirk and Spock going into Voyager instead of just Spock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean Voyager. Voyager 6. Captain. Yes.
Yeah, I mean they could have done it with CGI these days, but back then with practical effects, they started it, but I guess they weren't happy with how it was looking and the time constraints too. This movie was so rushed, which is why the director's cut special edition that we reviewed and the 4K edition that just came out is so beautiful, because they did a director's cut and they redid added special effects and redid effects, but it was in standard definition. So for the longest time, we've all been clamoring for a 4K version of the movie, and they would never do it because that meant they had to spend money and go back and redo the special effects that were new back then on the director's cut, because they had been rendered on standard definition. And thankfully they went back, and Paramount they spent the money, and you can get that gorgeous 4K edition with Atmos sound, and it's just the definitive edition of that movie. And Retro Blasting had a fantastic video on Iconicon. I'll try to find the link if anyone wants to watch.
Please do. Yes, I see that.
The thing I like about that crystal idea is that in telling the story, it definitely connects the reason why, when Clubby brings it up, I think it's kind of a cool idea, is it connects that Giant's Causeway that they cross, and that's in Ireland, and it looks like Giant's Causeway, but it sort of adds this element of unknown control. Do you know what I mean? That it happens to Kirk. So I think it probably should have stayed in, but what do I know? It's still perfection. TMP is still the greatest movie ever made, ever.
Admiral Teague, what's up, sir? Good to see you.
Admiral Teague, the greatest science fiction movie ever made is TMP, hands down. It's not even a contest. Not even close.
I wish they had filmed this scene, but it would have been better having Kirk and Spock out there. But there's different times. But anyway, so we all know the story. Most of it's still the same story. They've been back, and a lot of the dialogue is the same. Some of it's different. Makes me want to go watch it right now.
All right, let's go.
I probably will.
I love it. Like I said, director's cut.
Right,
So,
Sean?
Mm-hmm.
I love Sean Carter from Mars.
So Clubby and Mark seem to be synchronized at the moment. Do I need to start worrying you have become Borg? We are little cute ass of Borg. We are ass of Borg. So Kirk unit. Why do you not disclose this information? Where? All right, so I'm sorry. Oh man.
Why do you not disclose the information?
Vijay needs the information. The information will not be disclosed unless you give me a little no, sorry.
So here, this is what I mean. Look at this green panel.
Right.
You see what I
So,
mean?
but the bottom on the bottom right?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Well, I just like the tie-in of the Giant's Causeway with those.
Oh yes.
You know what I mean? With that sort of oppressive crust, the diamond crust or whatever. It's just really cool.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful. They did not. He did their. I mean, again, Marie Severin's one of the finest comic artists ever of that era, and for her to, she was also underrated as a colorist. She does a marvelous job on this. If pardon the pun.
That's a very cool idea. Like it expands your mind because it's almost like a world building thing, because then you think to yourself, okay, what is the nature of V'ger once it does that to Kirk?
Good night, Fiona.
Good night, Fiona.
Take care, Fiona.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and thank you for adding that in for me. I needed you here. I'm sad that you're going. We love you too. Good night, sweetheart.
Yes, indeed. Love you. Be good. Yeah. This, for those who've not seen that, with this link to Retro Blasting's Iconicon, is it Retro Blasting? It's on their page, right? Retro Blasting's Iconicon.
Movie Oubliette, actually.
Oh no, Movie Oubliette, but
it's in the Iconicon playlist.
Right. It was Retro Blasting's Iconicon 2022. Movie Oubliette. They had a fantastic show. We were all there. Watching it that day when they had the makers of the people who put together the new
I remember that
motion picture director's cut. They're really cool guys.
And you actually asked a question about the scene that's on the
yes, I did ask that question. Yeah,
and they did answer it, and they also at one point they actually started. Some of the guys started crying. Basically, because they were so appreciative of how nice the chat was and some of the questions and the comments. It was so heartfelt. They said, this is a labor of love to fans. He's like, this is fantastic for you to, it was really, really a touching. So if you haven't watched it,
it was good.
Go watch that at some point. It's an hour and a half, really well spent.
But worth it.
With the creators. Yeah.
Every minute is worth it.
Yeah, we're coming up on the new next Iconicon soon.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's see. So anyway, cool stuff. More
Very
nice
cool.
panels.
Beautiful.
Just so colorful. I mean,
yeah.
And of course, the movie ends, and we get all kind of great stuff.
Special features.
Reading, special features. We get Star Trek: The Phenomenon by Tom Rogers, an article. And look at that.
I love this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Nice Andorian.
Interview with Jessica von Puttermaker. I don't know.
I don't know.
Did.
Don't know what science he did. Advisor.
No, he was a science advisor to Star Trek: The Motion Picture. They had those. Yeah, they're not the filth.
Yeah.
They also used Isaac Asimov. He was actually on. They actually called Isaac Asimov from the set.
Oh yeah. There you go.
When the anomaly happened, they actually phoned him and said, "Is this possible?"
They had a glossary. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is so cool.
Yeah, it's like someone who has never seen Star Trek before, so they wanted to put that.
Then there was this.
Oh man,
that's the middle spread, I believe.
Man, that's so good.
See the staples because we scan the scan is.
Yeah,
but they put that at the back, but still, I loved it. Oh, God.
So good.
Could you pop that out, or I mean, I have.
Yeah, but you had to take your whole
you had to take it apart, right? And
mag
pop it
apart.
out,
yeah. The print run was so high on those mags. If I thought of, you could like buy another one. This is. I mean, look what the cover price is. Oh, by the way, this is the book. All right, here's the paperback book right here. Oh, that was the back cover. Remember before Epic magazine came out? Remember those ads? Mm-hmm. And this was the cover to the paperback, front and back to the paperback that contained this adaptation.
Nice.
Other pictures that were in there.
Oh,
and they also had. They also asked about the new astronaut recruiting program in this too, which was great. With and the Q&A.
Lisa's being naughty.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa is being naughty.
What's the neck blue?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was blue. Yeah.
Stop it! It was not.
The Smithsonian proved it.
Look,
it was in
it's not true. Just stop it. I'm gonna roll you, dude.
Are we doing that again?
Lisa just unleashed the worst inside Clubby's Clubhouse joke in the history of Clubby's Clubhouse jokes.
Usually, I'm the troublemaker. I'm influencing people now. Yeah.
Lisa, for your punishment, you must bake 2 really delicious things and post pictures of it. That is your punishment.
Yep. Look, $1.50 for that Mac. And you know what the next issue from that was? A Marvel Super Special? Hey,
Oh no, Sean Carter. What is wrong with the chat tonight? Look what Sean Carter just put in the chat. Sean, you're very naughty.
Oh, that
the blue neck didn't exist,
segment,
but then it existed.
Folks, that of course concludes this segment of Clobby's Star Trek comics reviews. And don't worry, we're not going anywhere, folks, but I think we should play the credits out for it because, well, what more reason do you need? These are just such cool credits. As soon as I can find them, oh, there we go.
Warp drive, Mr. Scott. Ahead warp 1, Mr. Sulu.
Accelerating to warp 1, sir.
Yeah. Big round of applause for the greatest first officer in the fleet. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much,
Beautiful.
everyone. I'm so happy you love it.
I love it. It's wonderful. Very, very cool stuff. Great, great, great. Oh, my.
Well done. Yep.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. We should probably get ready to mosey out of here because number one is tired. She's been worn out all day. She's done so much. Nothing to be sorry about. We've been here plenty of time. We've been here almost 3 hours. What are you talking about? So we've reviewed things and talked about things and hung out, which is what we do up in Hill and round Hill.
And now I have all this stuff to buy. Damn it, Mark. And damn it, Clubby.
Yeah.
And Lisa didn't send me this to me with the blue neck either. She didn't send
listen.
That neck is not blue.
It's a shadow, dude.
Well, the Smithsonian did find blue and then
the
paint, but
it did not find blue. Just stop it. Stop it. Stop trying to make the blue neck happen. Everyone, can you do me a favor? Can you rover Mark, please? Just fully rover him. There's a rover emoji. Use the rover emoji. I made one. Use it on Mark.
Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, what a fun time it has been here tonight. Really appreciate you. And number one, I just love that thing so much. This is so cool.
I'm so happy that you love it. It's a pleasure to make things for you. I have such a great time doing it, and I love you very much.
Well, do you have any final words for us this evening before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'll get to it really quick because it's a school night and everyone can tell I'm already beat, and I do apologize for that.
That's all right,
Mark,
JT
what?
Clark or Jacob Picasso. Let me do this real quick. Everyone here has given me appreciation for Star Trek. Oh, that's
Oh, nice.
a Clobberin chat. Well, thank you so much, Jacob Picasso, and thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Sorry about
And
that.
nice showing off with the poster there. Shin kicks, shin kicks. Okay, I would like to thank everyone who came tonight. Thank you for your company. Thank you for your marvelous conversation. We're nothing without you. You guys are just such a great group of people, and we enjoy your company immensely. What an excellent, excellent conversation we had tonight. I want to thank all of my supporters of my new book. They're on Patreon, and they're pretty amazing people. Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric Kane, Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C. Damn it, Mark. Jill, Maximum Redstone, JJ Cook, Dabman and the Dabman Clan, and Lord and Lady Thoth. Thank you so much for believing in my work. It's really tough out there to get that classic episodic science fiction out there. Because corporations aren't interested in it, and so you're bridging the gap. You're making the difference in helping me get my stories out there, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank the Wrenches for their assistance tonight. Thank you so much for making this community the very best it can be. I want to thank Mark D with a C for being the greatest chief engineer in all of Starfleet. And it's not even close. He's such an excellent person. Make sure you follow him. He's a cool cat. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Clobby, my captain, mon capitaine. I love you very, very much. Thank you for creating this space and for welcoming us all here and for hosting our crazy hijinks, our ridiculous conversations. And we all love you very much. On behalf of everyone here, I just want you to know that we all love you and appreciate you very much. I had a wonderful time.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. The best. You is the best. You is the best. Number. Chief engineer. Any remaining? Closing words.
Yes, well, as always, another fantastic night hanging out with everyone. The chat's been amazing. Thank you, Raquel, for that opening or that video is just phenomenal. Knocked out of the park. It's just beautiful.
Yep.
So make sure everyone goes and supports Raquel over at her Patreon. And I'm gonna post mine. You can buy a Doomsday Machine for you sub to my Patreon for 2 months for $40. You can get a Doomsday Machine, which I think is a pretty good deal. So check that out. And
it's a damn cool Doomsday Machine too.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
By the way, good to see you, Chris.
Love you, Chris. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You're trying to read the comic was funny.
yeah, because it's so good. You want to read it right when you're going through it. Yep. But it's just been a lot of fun tonight, and classic CLOBBY'S Clubhouse. So glad I got to enable a little bit and get rovered, and I did post the article from the Smithsonian, so you can read about that restoration of the Enterprise and
Mark
and and judge for, I was going to say judge for yourself, but listen to the expert Raquel. So but no, this has been ton of fun tonight.
Your agonizer, please.
Yeah, just a great time. So thank you, everyone, and check out my channel for some Star Trek stuff as well too. But no blue necks there.
Thank you, Sean Carter, for the $2 super chat. You're too kind, my friend. This next 1701 model will have a Smurf on the neck.
Don't you do that, Sean Carter from Mars.
No.
And yes, Larry, definitely Mark's Doomsday Machines completely, like, they devour planets and starships. And he makes sure that he builds all of the things to go along with that and make that happen. So love you, Larry. Thank you for being here.
Indeediousness. Okay. Show notes and shout outs, folks. First of all, tomorrow night I don't think there will be a Nick Weiser's comic shop, but if there is, he'll post it. But usually on Friday nights, that's where we bees on hanging talking comics. But there will be a Saturday night Star Trek with 4 more episodes reviewed of Deep Space Nine, season 7. Same Trek time, same CLOBBERIN channel. And of course, this Sunday Night Geekery with the great Mark D with a GC's newly monetized channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us for lots of fun, frolic, and frivolity for all.
Rob Altus is here.
Looking forward to that. Yeah. Hey, Rob.
Rob Altus, what's up, buddy?
Rob.
Always good to see you, my friend.
You can
Nice
time travel
stopping
back.
in.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got going up in here. Oh, Monday night. A double feature Monday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, like every B Monday, every second Monday of the month. The great J-Man joins me for a trip to Earth B for a Wacky World of Bob Haney presentation. CLOBBERIN classic comics review of Brave and the Bold, number 125 from 1976. Enjoy the extremely nutty world of the greatest, craziest writer, well, the greatest crazy writer, I guess you should say, of all, Bob Haney. Batshite Bob. And then of course, at 9
like how
p.m.
you just slid that in.
Oh boy, I couldn't help it. And of course, at 9 p.m. Central, I'll be here for some Mark C comics talk, of open comic talk, or whatever we'll be doing. And then I am proud to present Wednesday night the great Michael French of Retro Blasting joining me to have just a visit. We hadn't visited in a while, just hang out and talking this, that, and the other thing, geek wise and geek culture and whatever else pops in there. It will be a great bit of fun. Please join us. Retro Blasting is awesome. It's such a great channel, and they are such my Retro Blasters are such great friends, and so looking forward to that. And of course, the Monday after that, we'll be back with the on J-Man's channel reviewing more Silver and Bronze Legion in order. So,
Boss man.
Yes.
I don't think Eric's going to be able to stick around for when you say goodnight to all of the wrenches. I think he's
I'm doing
leaving
it right
now. Eric K, good night, honey. We love you so much. Well, you know, you're not feeling well, and yet you're here.
All right, buddy.
And we appreciate that so much. And you know, I hope you're on the mend. We love you so much. Just go and rest. And I'm so happy that you joined us. Good night, sweetheart.
Indeed.
Okay, yep.
Bronze Wrencher be good, buddy. And he had to run off, but still, we'll shout out all of our wrenches here, not the great Chris Persia, Vindicator Wrench of the North, that great Deep and Martin Wrench of Iron, Lord and Lady Thought, the God and Goddess of Wrenches, Avon Lives Long Live the Legion, J-Man the Wrench Without Fear, and Partner Crime on Earth B, Hungry Boy Master of the Clavoni, Super Wrench Kal-El, Maddie's Daddy, Thor in Vegas, and Fanty Outsider, and our own Music Meister, Maximum Redstone, and everyone else. We'll give everybody a proper shout out on Saturday night, as we always do. I cannot thank you enough. Anyone who's lurking, or anyone who is watching on the replay or the downloads, as they call them, I cannot thank you enough for being here. We really, really appreciate it. I can't properly put it into words, but thank you. And please have a marvelous rest of your night and go into having a great clobbering weekend. Good night, everybody.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
And they probably redesigned the whole sick bay, too. I know engineers, they love to change things.
It's clobbering time!
I just love clobbering time.